Show.
RTM podcast show.
To the world and them girls.
Young Spray, Queen Ice Cream.
I hear me.
In Northwest London, born and raised. In Kilburn is where she spent most of her days. Chilling out, matching, relaxing, all queening. Then her and Mafiella did start diva twinning. And Young Spray, well, I was up to no good. Always making trouble in the neighbourhood.
What?
Did a one liquor ups and the judge didn't care. He said, I'm sending you to prison right now for 2 years. I blew my mum a kiss and then when I saw tears, her face showed the limit of the pace she could bear. If anything I could say, the sentence weren't fair. But I thought, nah, forget it. Your mum, have no fear. Have no fear, mama. I know I'm only 16, but I'm built for this. That's what yo, I pulled up to the jail around 7 or 8 and I yelled to the sweatbox, yo fam, link you later. Welcome to Feltham, I was finally here. They took me to Swallow and it started from there. That's where it all started, man. You're just like me, I'm just like you. I was a bad you too. But you could change, man. Boom. Welcome to the RTM podcast show, season 4, episode 2. See, I'm all forgetting how long this thing's been going. But yeah, season 4, episode 2. Big Bad Spray, Young Spray, here with my co-host
Cream, you know the vibes.
Queen Ice Cream. And today we've got something different today, you get me? Got a proper big episode today. We've got Range Rover Mum, you get what I'm saying? No, I'm only joking. No, I know I'm going mad. No Range Rover Mum. Today it's serious, you get me? We're getting some flowers for one of the lost ones, you get what I'm saying? One of the real ones. We're getting some flowers for Depzman, you get me? We've got Depzman's mum today, Miss Alison Cope. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it so much. Yeah. And I've got to let them know because they're probably thinking, how the hell, what's going on? Do you get what I'm trying to say? But basically, see that tweet that I done for Jamal? I done a tweet for Jamal where I was basically saying like, why is everyone posting him now? Like people should get their flowers when they're alive, blah, blah, blah. And I got trolled, you know. I got absolutely trolled, yeah, for it. Like, I don't think, they misunderstood me. You get what I'm saying? Because I was really talking to like the industry people. Really. Like not just everyone. But anyway, about a month ago or something, someone's retweeted it, but it was like way later. So I was like, rah, who's that? Do you get what I'm saying? So I've clicked on it and then I've seen, it's Depzman's mum. But obviously I've heard about Depzman and I remember watching his stuff and all that. So I clicked on it and I was looking through your profile and I saw like you do stuff with the kids now and all that. So I thought, rah, you know what? It'll be good to get her on the show, yeah? As well as someone commented a few episodes ago, like, can you get someone, like a mum of someone that's died of knife crime? And all that, yeah. Comment below if that was you. But I thought, okay, this even makes more sense because he's actually an artist and we haven't done it before. But I thought, well, you can accept the flowers for him. So then I went to message her to say like, yeah, you know, can you come on the show? And she's already messaged like, yeah, thanks for following back, yeah. I followed back, so I said, yeah, would you be interested in coming on the show? And then she was like, yeah. Fine, you get what I'm saying? I was just watching you on YouTube, you know, like I like your realness. So I was like, all right, cool, boom. We get your number, boom, phone there, you get what I'm saying? So we're chatting. So I'm trying to book this thing in, yeah? And then the first thing I was like, yeah, what episode was you watching? Yeah, because I thought obviously you're watching the podcast. She's like, I didn't even know you had a podcast. I was watching Really the Most Volume 2. I was like, what are you doing listening to them sort of tunes? But yeah, anyway, don't know what you was doing listening to that. You know
Here we are.
Yeah, but there we are. And then I was like, are you free on the 15th? Because I've looked in our thing and we had a gap on the 15th, yeah. So I was like, are you free on the 15th? And then what'd you say?
That's the only time in London.
Really?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Imagine that.
You know what I'm trying to say? So
timing, innit? Yeah, meant to happen.
God's timing.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So now, thanks for coming, man. We're going to do a different one. I'm not drinking no alcohol today. No dark side rum. No outburst. That was my one outburst about Range Rover, mum. No more outburst. You get what I'm saying?
That dark side rum was nice, though.
It was nice still.
Nice, yeah.
Big up dark side.
Big 'em up.
But no. Well, clearly you haven't watched it before because you was watching Really the Most Volume 2. But we normally start off with like, you know, backgrounds, you know, like where you're from, schooling and all that. But the nutsest thing is like we want to know your story, obviously, but we want to know Depzman's story as well. You get me? Little Josh, big up Josh, though. R.I.P. man, the dog. You get me?
Thank you.
You get me? But so if you can tell us, like, where was you born first of all? Do you know, how did you even get to even...
Yeah, I was actually born in Nigeria.
Really?
You was what?
I was born in Nigeria, West Africa.
Are you having a laugh?
And I came here when I was 4.
So you was in Nigeria for 4 years?
In Lagos.
Wait a minute.
So
you
yeah.
born in Nigeria?
I was. People don't expect me to say that.
With a white mum and white dad? Mm-hmm. All of them living in Nigeria?
Yeah, my mum...
Slave masters? No, I'm joking. No more outbursts. No more I'm going mad.
No.
I'm going mad. So,
no, that's right.
Going mad.
So where's your mum and dad from?
My dad was originally from Scotland. My mum is half Italian, but they were working over there.
Okay.
And then they had a contract in South Africa, went to West Africa, and then little me arrived.
How long was they living in Africa before you was born?
About 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
About 5 years, yeah. So I was born there and then came here.
Do you remember anything about it?
Yeah, I can remember little bits of it, not a lot of it. Open land and swimming pool and that kind of thing.
Have you ever
That's
gone
where-
back?
No, I haven't.
My son's Nigerian a bit, you get me? Well, the mother of my child, her dad's Nigerian. So we've got a little connection.
Yeah, so people don't think I'm going to be from Nigeria.
You're born there though, you're actually
Actually
Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Yeah,
I know.
Bro, it's the white yardie argument.
That white yardie,
It's the white yardie argument. You get what I'm saying? What do you think about that white yardie argument? Because they're trying to say white yardie is
Yardie's not
Jamaican and
yeah.
because he's white and all that. But I say white yardie to me is more Jamaican than certain
I
Jamaicans.
think it's where you brought up and who you brought up around. Like, I don't class myself as Nigerian because I wasn't brought up in
But what's your
Nigeria.
ethnicity?
British.
Is that where your heart
White
is?
My heart's, yeah, it is. It is. This is where I grew up, so
Simple.
I can't say, oh yeah, I know Nigeria, I know Africa, because I don't.
Like white yardie, his heart's in Jamaica. He's a yard man still, you get me? But yeah, that's nuts though. That's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so did you go to school over there?
No, school, when I first came to England, I lived in Chingford, East London.
Lay, that's down the road from me. I'm from Walthamstow.
Oh yeah, so I had my aunt in Walthamstow, then we came to Birmingham.
Oh, Chingford.
yeah.
What was going on in Chingford?
Not a lot then, it was very quiet. I know it's changed a
Where
lot.
was you, Chingford all?
No, we only stayed there for a bit. I was little and then came to Birmingham when I was about 7, and then
Yeah.
I've been in Birmingham ever since.
Sick, man.
So yeah, that's
Sick,
how it all
so-
started, and then
Birmingham. So how was school and all that? How was you in school and that?
unsettled, didn't like it, rebelled, left.
Yeah.
Had my daughter. My daughter's 33 almost.
So how old was you?
15.
You was 15. Oh my God.
Best thing I did. Best thing I did.
15. Your mum went bonkers.
Yeah.
She went bonkers on you. I remember my mum was...
My mum had me when she was 16 and she
My
said
mum
I
was
was the best thing that
mad
happened
at
to
my-
me as well,
my-
though. I know
I
it
remember-
sounds really crazy young, but...
No, it was crazy young, but it kept me focused on trying to do the right thing, going to college, getting a job, that kind of stuff. And then I had Josh when I was 21.
So I need to keep pulling this down. I didn't even iron my shit, man. I thought it was gonna be hot again today. I had my shorts ready, and everyone telling me I'm tongue now and all that. Wanted to have my legs out and bare things, but yeah, man, I didn't even iron my thing. But yeah, so
Yeah.
so you had a child young, man. How was that? How did that feel, man?
It was hard, it was really difficult, but it's life, isn't it? And then
Did you have
just
any help from your parents?
Yeah, lots of help,
so
lots and lots of
they didn't let that turn their back on you?
Oh, no. It wasn't, it was difficult, but it wasn't the hardest situation I could have been in. I was very fortunate. I had my family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That helps. Do you get what I'm saying? But I remember my mum going bonkers at my older sister. She had a youth at 18. My mum still weren't even having it. But when the youth's born, it changes.
Yeah, it changes.
Changes everything.
You
They
get
don't
away
care.
with it. You get away with everything.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So how long after that did you have Josh?
So split up with my daughter's dad when I was 18, and I met Josh's dad when I was 20, and I had Josh when I was 21. So it was quite a quick relationship, and then I had Josh in 1995.
So now, how was Josh as a baby? How was he?
Hyperactive. He was terrible.
Mad you.
Mad.
Really?
Mad. But he was born like that. Like he just seemed hyperactive, newborn, looking around as if what's going on.
ADHD.
100% ADHD. He
What
was
month was he born?
August.
July.
Leo.
I mean,
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah, no, he was because when people look at Josh online as Depzman, they just see popularity, they see all that kind of thing. But when he was a little boy, he was always that little boy that was never invited to a party, never invited around people's houses.
Problem child.
Because he would be the one that would probably kick someone's parent,
Oh.
swear at them.
Oh, God.
You know, he was that kind of little boy.
Yeah.
And so he was getting into trouble from when he was probably about 4 or 5. He used to bops around primary school. He thought he was so bad and was just fighting people. And that was very, very little. And I just thought, oh my gosh.
Was he following his dad?
I was going to say, where do you think he got it from?
I think he just followed. I think when you're a little boy, and this is just my opinion, is that if you've got someone that's very quiet and calm or excitement, when you're young, you don't want to be doing the quiet and the calm. You want the excitement. And if you're getting a reaction from punching your friend in the head and your friends are laughing and hyping you up and you're the one getting all that attention, that negative attention becomes more appealing than positive attention. So he was drawn, and I think it was more just him in general, his personality drew negativity, and he really enjoyed that for a long time.
Yeah, because it's nuts, because I chatted to my brethren earlier today, big up Phantom. He's like, yeah, who have you got on the show? And he's from Birmingham. So I was like, oh yeah, you heard of one Graham man, Depzman? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I've got his mum. He was like, oh, his dad's in Franklin. Yeah, doing a bid, yeah, for M's. Yeah, so that's why I was asked, was he following his dad?
Yeah.
Because slightly, I kind of know that.
Right.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of pain inside him.
So how old was he when he left? When he got that bird?
Well, we split up when Josh was very little. He went to prison when Josh was around 5.
Okay.
And I think...
Was he still active in his life though?
No, he was. And Josh loved him. And for me, that was like an overwhelming thing that you can't... It's just my opinion. Because my son loved his dad, that I couldn't be the person that said, well, you're not seeing him, or you're not seeing Josh. That wasn't my place to be like that. So... They always had a relationship, and Josh adored him. Josh really did love him.
Yeah, because he didn't leave him out of his lyrics. Because you remember one of his tunes, he was like, I want to make my mum proud. And my dad
too. He loved his dad, and I was the person that chose to carry on with the pregnancy, have a baby off this person, so it's certainly not my right after to say, well, you can't see him. I know that's how some people are, but that's just not how I am. And then Josh was 13 when he got the life sentence, and that was a very, very, very difficult time for me, but for Josh mainly because he just couldn't cope with it.
Did he visit him?
Yeah. I took him a couple of times, and he went with his family. His dad's
Franklin's
side.
naughty, man.
It's far.
Franklin's naughty. Dispersal. It's a bad dispersal as well. So yeah.
Yeah, Josh just struggled with his emotions. He didn't know how to deal with it. You've got the public element of it, the press, the media, the documentaries, Good Morning Britain, and all the negativity. And when Josh was 13, he was tall. He got his height from his dad. Didn't get it from me. And he just thought at that point the best way to deal with all of this is to be as angry, as volatile, and as dangerous as I can be. And then hopefully no one will say the word dad.
Yeah.
That was his, I think, and that's really sad. But so he was just fighting, coming home covered in blood, arrested, A&E.
What year was he in school? What year does that make him?
In
year
secondary
8.
school, yeah.
He's in
Year
secondary
8,
school,
and he never
innit?
went back.
Really?
Never went back.
You never went back to school?
No, he couldn't cope.
Just doing roads. What do you do? Get private tutoring?
No.
You just left him on the road? You just left him on the road?
No, I left work.
Okay.
I handed him a
You had to
notice.
homeschool him.
He wasn't educated because...
But you wouldn't think that by his lyrics.
No, he was very... You don't need to be educated to be intelligent and to have a skill. And he wasn't educated. For me, because of how volatile and unstable he was, I needed to be by his side as much as I could through that period of time. He had to process, then he had to heal, then he had to be, and it was getting through those stages. So I thought, well, I can't be at work because he'll be off fighting, getting arrested, going to prison. So I had to just be by his side through it all.
Did he ever end up in prison?
When Josh was 15.
Mad man.
Yeah, but do you know do you know the maddest thing about it? He was falsely convicted.
Ain't we all?
No, because
I was falsely convicted as well.
I got him out. I got it overturned.
Great.
So on this occasion, he actually was.
Did he go Brinny?
No, he went to, because of his age, it was called Rainsbrook, a secure unit. Because with Josh, and that was the thing with Josh, there was never any no comment and playing the game. He was so honest that if he'd have done it, he'd be like, I did it. Guilty. If he didn't do it, he would go crackers. Yeah. So in this incident, it was like, I just knew he hadn't done it. And it's
what was it?
It was an assault, a serious assault. They had four young men beat up a boy. They all didn't fit Josh's description, Josh's height, but they went for Josh. And it just escalated from police station, CPS, trial, conviction. And I'm just like, because, if you haven't lived that life, you don't really understand that life. You do think that can't happen. That's when I learnt this can happen, and I was not happy, so I just did everything I could, managed to get the Court of Appeal, got it overturned. He came home, and that's when part-time, bit of music, at the park, with my little phone, doing a few videos. This is where it changed. This is where I am now going to be Depzman. Yeah. And there's nothing going to stop me.
How did he get that name? Who gave him that name?
I don't know. I don't think he even knew. I've seen him interviewed about it once, and he seems very unsure. There's no story around it, and I don't know.
None of his mates ain't come and told you?
No. When he was little, because he used to hit people, they called him Deppy Clapham, and I'm not quite sure where that even came from.
So maybe that's where the Deps.
Yeah, and it kind of...
Depzman.
Kind of, yeah.
Deppy clap them in their face.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was a very, very difficult time because, there was such a conflict for Josh. He was mentally conflicted with life.
Did you ever see anybody, talk to anyone?
He was too volatile. You couldn't, at that point, he was just 13, you could not have got him to sit. The only person he would allow near him emotionally was me. So I got every bit of venting. And he'd come home assaulted or assaulting someone, I'd be covered in blood, he'd be covered in blood. He was just not okay mentally for a long time, and he just needed to be healed. And the only way that I was going to heal him was to love him more. And that's how it was between us. The more pain he was in, the more love he needed. So, and I think, we spoke about it briefly before, I just find it really sad how many little people in the world aren't given that. And they become... they become something, and then that something ends up in prison, and we've got a generation of hurt people.
Yeah, because I see you doing a lot of work with the youth now as well, which I salute.
Yeah, I try, because the day I start going to prisons and I meet lots of young men that wish they got longer and are happy there, then, there's no point saying anything, but how many people are in prison that want to go home? Yeah. A lot, and the sadness that I see when I go into prisons, I just think, God, if only we had done more. And I'm not naive and I'm not stupid. There'll be people that know what they're doing and do it and end up in prison. There are people that don't know what they're doing, it's a mistake. And there's some people that are so damaged, hurting another person isn't a problem. So...
Go on.
Hurt people.
Yeah.
And prison's full of hurt people.
That's what it is.
And then we've got friendship groups that free this person, free that person. I get that, but you're also pushing and promoting it sometimes. And so what happens then is you're kind of pushing somebody towards that lifestyle. They go to prison, and then you're saying free them. We need better friendship groups. We need more support. We need a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of grey area behind crimes.
Lots.
With the law, you might be guilty, but why are you guilty? There's always some form of story behind. Do you know what I mean? That's what happens. It could be very...
And I think if somebody wants to, and I'm sure people watching this, people have done this, people have done that. That's not my story. That's not. But that's not my story. Is mine. My story is Josh's, and my story is used to share, and hopefully make people see what they've got to fight for. And that's it. I can't comment on what other people have done, what their story is. All I can do is share mine in the hope it helps them in some small way.
Yeah, by a big man jail, it's maybe too late. But see the Wales, a lot could be changed and done differently in the Wales, man. You know what I'm saying? Because even as a YO, I just remember just even thinking that I shouldn't have even been there, really. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But once you get there, you're there, innit? So you're just gonna turn into a madman. You're gonna learn, like, man learn off older people.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
What
So
would
by the
you
time
do?
I came out,
What would you do for if you could take over the whole way it's done for young offenders? What would you do for them when they come out? I know what I think, but
that's one thing. But then you need to also look at why are you even sending them in? Like, not everyone. I wouldn't. Certain young offenders shouldn't even be in prison. That's the truth. I've been there. I've been with some guys, and it's like, what are you even doing here? Like, you could have got, and they hadn't even been given a combination. I got a combo when I was in my 20s. That's the first time I got a combo. My 20s or my 30s. I didn't even get a combo when I first went. They just sent me to prison. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's backwards.
My thing is, some people deserve punishment, some people deserve rehabilitation.
Everyone deserves rehabilitation.
Some people deserve punishment.
Yeah, but after punishment, you need
but
rehabilitation.
some people that are doing some nasty crimes, that's my opinion. They deserve punishment.
They deserve
go locked away. Exactly, that's what I mean. And then there's some people
they deserve
that deserve rehabilitation. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you just said about being hurt, they've gone through trauma when they're young. They're expressing themselves through violence and stuff. To me, that needs rehabilitation. You need to sit down and, go through stuff. Why are you so hurt? Why are you doing that? You need to realise that, you're affecting other people. Like when they do that, what's it called? What's it called? Who do we have on here? Was it Stanner? And then he said when the victim
restorative justice.
Yeah, when they read him back
the victim impact
statement, like it made him feel, some type of way, and you start looking at things in a different way and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
They didn't let you read your victim impact, did you? I saw that on that internet.
Really difficult because, and I think only now am I seeing why they didn't let me read it out. So when it came to the trial, normally in a trial they let the mum sit in the courtroom, but when the young man that was convicted of Joshua's murder was speaking in the courtroom, they banned me from being in the court because they were worried that if I got angry, upset, that it would trigger a lot of retaliation.
How do you feel about him?
How do I feel about him?
Yeah.
I've never ever had a moment of anger and a moment of, retaliation or anything in that in my head. But I only think that is because how much I processed through Josh's dad's situation, and I think I learnt. It took me about 3 years to process it, that people who aren't evil can do some very evil things, and I think that gave me the skill to just very matter of fact go, this person, a young man, only 18, with no convictions, who isn't evil, has done something evil. And even though, it's my only son that he's done this to, I think that's helped me to see it that way, because I think I'd just be totally consumed by anger and,
Do you know what it is, Alison? I watched it, we got Festify, because it's mad timing. They put out a documentary about Josh just the other day, like less than a week ago. So I watched it and all that. First of all, how do you even feel about all of that? Like people putting out documentaries.
It's difficult because
I actually thought, wow, like, did you know what I'm saying? Did you do that knowing that you're coming on here?
No one ever asks me if they can do these things. I think because, and I've always said this, Josh is mine. Depzman is quite a public person. So people don't always think, I need to speak to her if we're talking about Depzman. But it always fills me with anxiety. I think, what's going to be said? Because as soon as anything around Josh is mentioned, you get all the kind of emotional,
I can imagine.
Things that come with that. It's difficult because on one hand, I'm really grateful that people still remember him. I'm really grateful that his name lives on. I also find it difficult that people don't, think, well, I'm just going to be there having a cup of tea in my front room, probably just crying because Josh isn't here, or sitting with my son's ashes, and then all of a sudden his face pops on YouTube. It's like someone punched you in the stomach. You go,
how do you find out about it? People send it to you and
people
all that?
Just say, have you seen this? Or you literally, I found out this one because it came up on my YouTube feed.
Okay.
Really?
And you just, you stopped in your tracks, and I think...
And they even had you in it?
And they even had me in
it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
I'm glad my victim impact statement came out, because that was another thing with the trial. You're allowed to read it out in court. You're allowed. They didn't let me. It wasn't even allowed to be read out with the jury. They just did not want that read out in case it triggered retaliation and you know, more.
Because it's mad still.
Violence.
Like, you know why I asked you how you feel about the guy, yeah? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit torn, innit? I was a bit torn, so I praise you for how you look at it still, because you could have anger and, you know, be bitter and all that, but I was a bit torn because I thought it was a bit of a passionate crime as well, innit? I think like the girl, like not like that. I think that girl, I think that girl's evil as well. Not even evil, I shouldn't say that, but
I don't
see baby mothers and all that.
Yeah, I don't have blame for her in the beginning, because you know, when you go through something like this, you don't know what it's like to go to a trial in that sense, as the mum, and you had all the rumours, all the different versions, and 99% of it was not true. So a lot of the stuff that's said isn't accurate, and it was only when I actually saw the footage and all the statements that she didn't actually do anything.
Okay.
But she's portrayed as like hyping up a situation and people were very reactive. She didn't do hardly anything, and a lot of people desperately wanted to blame someone in that moment.
Do you know what it is? Because me, I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at it from my angle, yeah, and it's like, raw. If I was to just go to a rave tomorrow and then see my baby mother trying to walk around with someone, do you get what I'm trying to? I'm just feeling that. Look, you said he had no previous conviction, and that's kind of what happened, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? He probably did it I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? He's just thinking, do you get what I'm saying?
I think for me, I have.
But and remember, Josh, he's someone, innit?
Yeah.
So it's easy to hate on that as well. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I think that's a big part.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like,
and you've got the friends hyping it up.
Gassing him up. Look, he's with your baby mother. Da 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 da. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
You know, but I think for him, you know, he had many opportunities to walk away, and he still chose to walk away and come back armed against somebody that wasn't armed. I also half expected to see a huge punch up, at which point Josh had been stabbed, but the point Joshua had been stabbed, he was walking home, he was coming home to me, you know, and I think I find that really hard to process, that you came back over something so trivial.
I think that was for his baby mother.
Yeah.
Personally, I just think he done that for his baby mother, like, hold that. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's mad. You know, what I'm trying to say.
I won't know what was going through his mind until I am face to face and ask him that question, because if I base my opinion on him based on what everyone else has said, I think that will be quite muddied. So until I hear it from his own mouth, then if he says, well, yeah, that's because of her, then we'll have a different conversation.
Was she in a relationship with your son?
No. I think she was somebody that just dealt with a few people, if you know what I mean. And I think she had a baby off.
Promiscuous.
She had a baby off the young man, and he didn't like her talking to Josh. Josh was obviously, in his eyes, Depzman, and everyone liked Josh, and you know, the girls liked Josh. And
probably think he's trying to style me with my man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
of course.
I'm with Deps.
And Josh was arrogant. Josh wasn't. Josh was confident, and Josh was pure-hearted in thinking, I know what I am, and I know that I am, you know, within what I do for my age, I am going to be something. And people don't like that in any form of life, whether it's you work in an office or whether you're a footballer or a music artist. People are going to hate on you, and I think Josh wasn't bothered by other people's opinions at that point. So, you know, young men in a group,
He was JK's brethren as well. I see that. JK's doing good now, so that shows where he would have been as well, innit, really?
Yeah, I think Josh would have been.
At the time, I knew about Depzman more than I knew about JK at that time.
Yeah, I think Josh would have been way ahead of most people now. Well, that's what I'd hope anyway. We don't know.
I was listening to that tune he done as well on that festival. I think he said that he fell out with you, but it's still love.
Yeah, that's the first I heard of that.
That's what I was thinking. What's that about?
I don't know.
Where's the fallout?
No, my opinion is we haven't had a fallout. It's such an emotional subject.
So
when
it's
you've got
just a track.
Yeah.
You just wanted to make it rhyme and feel he's a madman.
No, I don't even think it's like that. I just think because there's so much emotion around Josh and Depzman, you've got two different angles. Josh is mine, and I am protective like a lioness, and I'm like, whereas Depzman, it's like music, but what's the problem? So when people are doing certain things
good tune, no?
with his music,
good tune. You have to admit, it's a good tune.
I haven't listened to it. I just
You ain't heard it?
No, people just said that.
Okay, nice, a good tune.
But, you know, it's like all this kind of stuff is thrown at you from all directions, and sometimes you just don't know what to do with it. You know, and all these different comments and social media and people messaging all the time. You know, and Josh's music, he's got unreleased music, and there was frustration around that because people were clinging onto it in studios, not giving it. And then, you know, JK was, you know, frustrated by that. I was frustrated about that, but as in me and JK, we've never had a kind of disagreement. We've just been very like around things around Josh, and you know, that's all it is. But when somebody dies and they're not here anymore to have their own voice, you're constantly, you know, for me as his mum, I'm constantly battling for his voice to be heard.
It sounds like JK got love for him still.
Yeah, definitely. And people knew Depzman, however long that was for, whether it be 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. You know, I knew the little boy. I had the little boy. He was mine. You know, so no matter what, I'm always very, very protective over, you know, his legacy and what he would want in his voice.
You spoke to his dad since?
The last time I spoke to his dad was around four years ago.
Free the big man, though. I'm gonna give him a freedom. I'm gonna send him a free the big man still. You get me?
4 years ago.
No, I'm here for the prisoners. But have you? Did he get to go to the funeral?
No.
Really?
What's yours, you know?
No. Do you know what really hurt me?
What's yours?
It was what really hurt me. And if I get upset, just ignore me. But
What's yours? I don't like them thing there.
it's that he wasn't allowed to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because I desperately wanted his dad to be able to. Sorry, it really hurts me that they did that.
Yeah.
He wasn't allowed to say goodbye to him, and I even tried to arrange for Joshua's dead body to be driven.
Why are they even like that, man?
And that hurt me because
I hate them, you know.
Because you know, I will always have you know, respect and love for the person that gave me Josh. So for them to not allow that, they just said he was too dangerous, and I'm like, yeah, but how? No one's going to try and. It's in my head. I just don't see where that came from, you know. So
They just want to be bad, man. They're stitching him up.
you know, I just think that's from a human right. If your child's murdered and you're in prison, if you can't,
Yeah, that's fucked.
you know, I was
think
trying to
so
arrange.
as well.
You know, how
That is
disturbing
bad.
for me to actually try and arrange for Joshua's body to be driven from Birmingham all the way to Franklin, and that's far, isn't it? That's far.
Yeah, that's far.
And I was thinking, well, I'll pay. We'll have specialists, whatever we need. We need nurses because of decomposition. You know, your head takes you to the craziest places. But I thought that he deserves that. And when they said no, I was devastated. And you know, and it is devastating. You know, his dad had never heard his album, Too Real.
Is it?
And I had to write to the governor and get special authorisation in the hope that he was allowed to listen to it, and they let him. There's all that kind of elements behind, you know, when someone's in prison, how hard it is for people in prison, and they make it harder in some, you know. And I'm not, you know,
Depending on what kind of prisoner he is as well. Do you know what I mean?
you know,
Don't stitch him up.
he has a right in some capacity to say goodbye to his son, regardless of what he's done and why he's there. That's a human right, and you know, it hurts. That hurts a lot.
No, man, sorry to bring that up.
No. It's, you can ask me anything. Me being upset is a reaction for other people's actions, not your question.
Yeah.
And was he they still in contact like before, up until when he passed away?
His family.
Him and his dad.
Yeah,
they was.
Yeah. Josh went to see him. Josh struggled, but he loved his dad. So, you know, he was still a teenager. He wasn't. People think of Josh as being like a grown man.
And considering that they knew that he used to come and visit and stuff like that, that is so bad that they never let him go to the funeral, man.
I think the funeral thing, I do understand the funeral thing a little bit, because just the press element and the kind of, I think there was, even with the funeral, so it's like backtrack slightly, they would not let me have a funeral until I could tell them how many people were going, and I ended up getting really angry with the police, saying, how do I know? I've never organised my child's funeral before. How do I know how many people?
And plus he's famous.
Yeah, the public element of it, I don't know. It could be 100, might be 1,000. It ended up being way more than that. And they were like, well, we're not going to sign it off because we can't just have 5,000 people turn up in Birmingham city centre without undercover police, all these police elements to it, and then I just had enough of it, and I said, no, well, forget it, you don't sign it off and I'll just publicly do my own thing. And they were like, and then they signed it off. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that. So I think they didn't let his dad come because of the public element to it, but he should have still been allowed to have a private moment with Josh.
Definitely.
100%.
Poor CR screws. I hate them. But did you know his friend that died? The one that he had
Kyle. No, I didn't know him. I didn't know him, no.
Yeah, he seemed in bits over that, innit?
Yeah, I think, Josh had a very, the real Josh inside Josh was very sensitive and very, very aware of other people's pain. So anything like that, he would really take it to heart, and it hurt him a lot.
I saw an appeal from his mum that she's still, it's still unsolved.
Yeah, they haven't charged anybody
it's still
with
unsolved,
that.
so she's like basically, so that's a bit mad. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was going to ask you. Do you chat to the mum?
No, I didn't know her before. I don't know her now.
Yeah. But no, it's sad, man. 2 friends, it's sad.
Because I thought the event that they was at, wasn't that for
his bridging,
yeah, that passed away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something to do with that.
Yeah, it was a memorial.
Yeah, imagine
and
that.
Josh was performing, and that was it. He did his performance, hung around for a bit, and then went to go home and got stabbed. And that was that. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
The main subject today, because we always have a main subject every episode, and like the main subject, it took me a while to think. I was thinking, what are we going to talk about? But I chose like grieving, just to talk about, like grieving people, because obviously we've all had to grieve someone. Do you know what I mean? And the difference, it's like I can't even imagine grieving like my youth, because obviously I'm a father now, innit? So I feel your pain, but I can't even imagine that. Do you know what I mean? I've had to grieve my mum and my dad, but that's even going to be a different grieving. Do you get what I'm trying to say? To my youth, what? So it's like, how did you deal with that? Like what helped you?
I don't think I've dealt with it. I think it's something that's so painful for me that I haven't. I've just gone full speed ahead, and one day's turned into 2 days, and here we are, and again, sorry for the loss of your parents. I lost both my parents since losing Josh as well, so I know how painful life is.
Just trying to keep him busy.
Yeah, I think the thing with, a lot of people don't realise that before having Josh, I didn't really know what I was good at, and I didn't really feel confident in what I was good at. I had good jobs and I was promoted and I had, all that kind of stuff, but Josh to me was my purpose. That's what I knew, that he was supposed to be mine, I was supposed to be his. So when I lost him, I was lost, and I'm still lost, if I'm honest. I don't know who I am. Depzman's mum, yeah, we know who that is.
Yeah.
Alison Cope, the campaigner, we know who she is, but me,
you
don't know who I am. I don't know. I'm still desperately trying to find out. I don't know. I'm lonely, and without Josh, it's very, very hard to think or to imagine being happy again. And that's quite a negative mindset, but it's the truth. Your child is your everything, and everything to you.
A mother's love's just different as well.
It's different, and to know that somebody pushed a knife into his heart, the fact that there's so many elements that, and I know we haven't spoke about this, but I've met people since losing Josh that were the people that worked on him while he was on the table in surgery, and they said they honestly thought he was going to make it, even though his heart was cut. He kept fighting back. 7 times he flatlined on the table, and 7 times he fought back.
I flatlined twice.
Did you?
Yeah. Hard to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Josh, all that, as a mum, with all of that, I just think he didn't want to go, and I don't think he wanted to leave me, and that hurts. The Depzman thing, who he would have become, what he would have had from that, I don't care. I care that
your son,
he's my little boy, and he's, take away all those layers of everything, and what you're left with is that, the little boy who sit on my lap and cry and find life so hard, and
ADHD,
police stations, 15 arrests, young offenders, all the issues going around him, and still he managed to find his purity in his heart. And we can't give up on people, because we don't know when that purity is going to kick in, do we? And to say goodbye to him, any parent, if you just for one split second imagine that moment, it's too unbearable to think. I held his dead body like you hold a toddler asleep. His eyes were closed, he had machinery all in his neck, and they still hadn't sewed him up because they hadn't had time. So he was stapled, his body. And, to kiss him, I don't think I could ever move forward from that. And to be without him. But, all I've managed to do is put one foot in front of the other, and here we are. And I've done that for my love for Josh, because when you've got a child and they die, you don't stop loving them. And I didn't know what to do with that love, so all I did was do my best to keep pushing it out. And
the maddest thing, the maddest thing is what you just explained is what helps me deal with my grief of like my mum and all that, because I couldn't imagine my mum going through that with me, and at least she didn't have to see that. Do you get what I'm saying? That's one of the things what kind of comforts me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and I take, and I hope you do, and I hope everyone that's lost someone does, I just take one moment at a time. Because if you think past the moment, if I think I've got to live the rest of my life in this much pain, not being here anymore would be quite a attractive option.
Simple, innit?
But I just have to literally just think, okay, all I've got to do at this moment in time is talk to as many people in the world about Josh as I possibly can. Because when you've got a child, you want everyone to know about that child. And I'm honest and I'm proud, and I don't care what anyone says about anything to do with Josh. I'm proud of him.
Exactly.
Very proud. I'm proud that he had a good heart, and once that heart connected with his head, everything slotted into place. So, and then all I'll do is all I've got to do in my life is get through today.
No, you're doing well, man.
And
thank you for my gift from Josh as well.
Mountain Dew.
Why did Josh give me this?
Because of Mountain Dew, that's one of his tracks.
Oh, is this one of his tracks?
Yeah, everything's track related. And I just thought that if he had had the opportunity to meet you, he would have fruit punch.
No, Josh, I know Josh would have listened. Josh would have listened to Spray still.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Definitely
100%.
from Birmingham, Josh would have listened to Spray.
100%. So I just know that he would have fruit punch, because that's one of his tracks, and Ciroc was his drink.
I wasn't going to drink,
Okay.
But I think I'm going to have a little sip for Josh.
Definitely.
But I just know he would have been honoured to meet you both, and I just thought, and I really apologise, cameraman, because I didn't realise you were here.
No, thanks for this though, man. Thank you, Josh.
No,
rest in power, my soldier.
He had a good heart.
I've got something for you as well.
Oh,
I've got my lashes.
Oh,
Spray.
thank you.
Pass this to. Thank you.
What's this?
My lashes.
Poster girl lashes.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, lovely.
And your poster girl pen.
Thank you. I actually just want to open a few up a little nose, because that's,
We're giving Josh his flowers today,
I've got a
Alison,
drink in my cup. I can't pour mine.
We're giving Josh his flowers today, because Josh deserves flowers, man.
I'm going to pour mine after. I got something from here, but thanks so much.
No, I'm just...
Did you like his tracks? Did you used to listen to it and all that?
Yeah, of course. I was obsessed. I was a fan.
Yeah.
But as a mum, I remember when he sent for socks when he was very little, and I just was like this. No, you can't say that. You can't say that about his mum, and you can't say this. And then another time, I was like, Josh, you go, what? I was like, you have not done a drive-by shooting. Do not say that. People will think of you, because as a mum, I lived quite a very boring life, so all this kind of stuff to me was new, and I remember thinking, oh my God. And then when you start to actually look into it, you think, wow, it's just an expression. It's one way of expressing yourself.
How do you know you've done a drive-by shooting?
Well, I hope he hasn't.
And music is very metaphorical.
If he has, I'm sure someone will tell me. So
I'm sure they won't.
Well, I don't know. I've heard a lot of other things that he was up to and everything. But back to the question of grieving, just one moment at a time, one day, one moment of pain, one moment of power, one moment, and just think, right, okay, and then hopefully those moments, will get me through until the day I'm not here anymore. And that's the kind of only thing I can say about grieving.
Yeah, it's mad. That's what I'm saying. It's just, and it. Yeah, we'll get into that all the way through as well.
Yeah, because we haven't even touched the main properly.
But you also learn. You learn. You learn. You don't learn. It's just my opinion. I don't learn to live without that. It's not with me now. I've learned to live with the fact it's not here. All I do is learn that when the next moment of pain's coming up, what it means that it's coming, and that I can be brave enough to get past that moment and come back the other side. That's all I've done regarding time, because
every time his birthday pops up,
birthday, Mother's Day, Christmas, the anniversary of his death.
Day, to get, I'm trying to say, I just think, oh yeah, my mum's gone. So there's certain dates where you just like, it's like you hate it when they're coming up.
And it comes at you, it just goes boom. And you think, yeah, but I know it's coming. Just to
see everyone all this happy Mother's Day, you think, fuck off, man.
That's the thing. With Christmas, like you see all the lights, all the adverts with family, and you're just like, you appreciate that you've got a life, you appreciate what you have.
I'm a little hater.
But no matter how much you appreciate, inside it, you're hating.
And I'm not being a parent as well, especially if you see like people that were similar, that was the same age group, and they're getting on with their lives and stuff, and what you would have liked to see for your child. You know what I mean? Like, what would they be doing now?
He just had a right.
You know what I'm saying?
No one had the right to end his life.
Yeah.
And I think, when you go into prison and you meet young people, you do meet a lot of people that live with regret, and some people don't, and that's fine for them, as long as people are happy in their actions. But so many people aren't happy with their actions, and I think that's so for him it was just making sure that he was as happy as he possibly could be, and I do think we achieved that together between us. He was able to be Depzman, and that wasn't because he was on road. It's because I worked and he spent all my money. There was none of this kind of struggle behind the scenes. There wasn't this story of he had to walk 10 miles to a studio.
It's like Biggie's mum said, what are you talking about, sardines and all that? Remember Biggie? Biggie's mum was like, what are you talking about?
You always had a good Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Biggie's mum said, are you going mad about she couldn't believe what Biggie was trying to preach, the type of struggle he was dealing with. But you see, when you're young, straight to talk about 5 people on the floor, it's not no joke, you get what I'm saying? Trust me. But it's mad still.
Yeah.
But man, big up Depz, man. Big up Depz, man.
R.I.P. Definitely.
But like, how can I put it? Like, how do you feel about, like, when you go to the prisons and that, and you do the talks and all that? How does it make you feel?
I just, for the people that are in there.
Yeah, like, because obviously, like, there's savages as well, innit?
Yeah, there's all.
Because like, some people, like, some people are very judgmental, innit? So, like, how does it make you feel? Like, say, like, you go and you're talking to, do you ever say, like, oh yeah, I want to know what they're in for?
No, because it's not my. I know that the people that are picked are murderers, have killed people, shot people, stabbed people.
So you don't deal with no Ari Apis?
No.
No Bacon? You made them know I don't want to chat to Bacon?
They made that decision, so it never had to come to me.
That's why I didn't know how, because I was just going to get to that. I didn't want to.
No,
see, I ain't got time for no Bacon or no nonsense. I don't want to chat to them. So that's what I was going to say to you. How does it feel like talking to them type of?
I talk to the, for me, there's no point me talking about, this is what you've done, this happened to my son, this is terrible, because at the end of the day, that's not going to benefit anyone. What benefits them isn't anything I say, it's more if they first and foremost realise that they've got something to fight for. If they're doing 10 years or 20 years, at some point in their life they're going to be out, but are they just going to come out and go straight back into it and then get another 20 years? And if that's their life and that's what they're happy with,
it's like a revolving door,
then that's up to them. But even if they're in for murder, they've still got something to fight for, because there will be potentially a mum at home that needs to know her son is as good as he can be, a child, an uncle, a cousin, a grandparent heartbroken that their little boy or daughter is in prison. So you've got to still keep fighting. You can't just lay down and go, well, this has happened, I give up. Because I think if you've got someone that loves you, and if you love someone, you have got something to fight for. But it's not as easy as that because of all the trauma and where people live and environment and poverty and mental health and all those elements. If we're not addressing all of them, we're failing our young people.
Yeah, it's just mad how all of a sudden it's like now mental health's come to the, do you know what I mean, to the top of the list, because it's like mental health has been about from the gate.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? But all of a sudden now they're looking at mental health like, do you know what I mean?
And I think it's disrespectful as well. And what I mean by that is, I mean, you know, I'm all I can talk about is what I know in my life, and I can't have the experiences that you've probably have, and I can't sit here pretend I know that part of life, and because I don't, and I'm not going to say I do, but all I do know is that too many young people are put straight back in an environment that society would never accept for their children. So how is it okay for other children to be, you know?
Big up Big Nasty. I see one clip. Big Nasty was getting onto the politicians like, do you know what I mean? Like, you lot don't. He was saying something about like they don't live like us. You get me? Like, so how are they trying to? You get what I'm saying? They can't talk about our thing because they're not coming from our thing, basically. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You can't judge us, innit? Do you know what I mean? Until you, what he said, until you're living somewhere where you can smell piss in the flats. Until, do you get what I'm saying? They're not living, do you get what I'm saying? They're not coming from where we're coming from.
You're trapped. You're
Do you
trapped.
know what I mean?
And, you know, no one is, well, I'm not saying anyway, that that's an excuse for robbing someone, shooting someone, stabbing someone, doing this, doing that. However, how have we allowed young people to live in such trauma and their behaviour to be so negative in their reaction to that trauma and that lifestyle that we've got, you know, a generation of young people that seem lawless, thoughtless, heartless, when in reality we've got a generation of very, very hurt and neglected people and families.
A few generations.
You know, if I had had to live in an area where there was gangs, drugs, and I didn't work, I can't even imagine how horrific that would have been. Every moment of every day I'd have been scared for Joshua's life, for Joshua's, you know, prison, injury, and yet some people have no choice but to live in that environment.
The maddest thing, Faz must have posted something the other day, tried to get onto me as well, from Digger D must have, because see the youths now, their thing's different, innit? So how they're living is just how they're living. And man, are forgetting, when we was young, we was mental as well. And that's why I keep having to remind people. Because it might be a different levels or whatever, but we was mental. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But he must have been doing something to Skilly Bangs.
I don't know which one you're talking.
Like, stab.
Yeah.
Me have a knife, you know. But I thought it was funny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Take my knife, I'm pushing her feet, stab. He's going mad. You get what I'm saying? But I get what they're saying, because Faz is like, look, this is you lot's role model. This is the kid's role model. Look how he's behaving and all that. But at the same time, he's just young. I left a comment saying, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
but what do you? So you think that tune was alright?
I just left a comment saying that, because I saw everyone getting onto him, and I thought, why are you lot getting onto this little kid? He's making his money, not like that, but that's their world. Like, if you listen, see like what you was listening to, Real and Most Volume 2, man's talking about shooting man in their face, and man's talking about what man's dealing with. Just he's talking about what he's dealing with in their little, and I went at a stage in my life of epiphany. I couldn't see, do you know what I'm saying? When you get older, it's like what you said, he's going to get older and he's going to reach his epiphany at whatever point he reaches. But that's just what do you know what I'm saying? That's their thing. My son listens to Digger D and he don't go and do madness, so my whole thing is about parenting.
And that was my next question.
Yeah, it's about parenting.
And if he did, and if he was behaving in that way without you or without a parent or without a positive voice, how dangerous is that? And this is, I think, the debate that can go from on and on for hours and hours. Is there is an awful lot of young people who don't just see it as that is a music artist and I'm watching it. This is the first male voice or first role model, and they go, oh, okay, so this is what I do. And then that copying of behaviour becomes a murder outside Primark, a murder down the shops. And then you have one person dead and the explosion of trauma through everybody. The perpetrator, an explosion of trauma. So I think the danger is not so much the music, the danger is that we are not balancing that with the role models and the positive messages of voice to influence the generation to say it's music, it's expression.
Yeah, you're on Farron's side. But you know what it is? Man's told me keep that energy to my podcast, innit? So I thought, let me bring the energy to my podcast. You get what I'm saying? Cause it's a subject still, because I just don't feel like, because even me, I knew I was a role model or whatever. People, so I didn't want to be a role model.
I don't think it's about. Yeah, if you, I know what that feels like when you're an artist and you don't want to be a role model. You
like,
just
want to make
express.
my music. Yeah,
and I think he's talented and everything. You know me. I already said I like enough of his stuff what he does, but with that particular one, my honest opinion.
Stop.
The only reason why
but he was just making a joke.
Tune, that's the whole point.
He was just making a joke
because it's such a big thing about it right now. We know what it is with the ramp. We know what those are doing right now, innit? And everybody's speaking about it. And to make it so comical about it, like it's nothing, and what you're doing. Do you get what I'm saying? Because even my youth even was in my bedroom. Like she was like, "I got my Bible, preach." Like that's what she actually was saying. You know, like, I'm not even lying. You know, like counteracting it on her. But it was so like it was just, I don't know.
But I think the problem is as well that I see all the time is we look at certain music artists, but we look at who's behind the music artist, and a lot of these multi-million-pound companies are taking full advantage, and they're making an absolute killing off this, you know. And the knock-on effect is, I'm sure, again, I'm not sure because I don't know that much, but if you were doing certain things, I'm sure, and I might be wrong, you probably wouldn't advertise it very closely after whatever you've done, so the police knew where you were, what time, what you were doing.
Yeah, they're just doing different stuff now.
And then, you know, you've just said it, if your son was going out, doing this, doing that, you would do everything you could to stop him doing that, because you've had the experience, you've understood, you're teaching. But a lot of kids literally are living pretending to live that lifestyle. They're not living that lifestyle, and they're not ready for that lifestyle. And you see it all the time. We've got all these little clones. I see it in the schools all the time, and they copy the lyrics. They come into assembly and they say stab, 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 da, 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 all this, and you're just thinking, for God's sake. And you just think you're going to be in a place where someone's not going to take that as a joke.
Someone responded to me and kind of made me see where they're coming from, because my whole thing has always been like, all right, but the parents, but then you got kids that ain't got no parents like that. So what about them kids? That's what they was like. Do you know what I mean? For me, I think we need to stop blaming everybody else. We blame this people, and then it's the teachers, then it's this, then it's this. If we have a young person in our care, the village,
we need to take responsibility and not pass that child off to everybody else. It's not everyone else's responsibility. We need to take
the responsibility as a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
We all need, if we have a young person in our life, we have to make sure that we are positive role models and using our own life examples and mistakes, and you know, to guide and educate. But
that's what I'm trying to do now, yeah, kind of, yeah. But my whole thing is, when I was his age, I didn't give a shit about that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I get where he's coming from as well.
I think everyone has the right to say whatever they want to say.
I get where he's coming from. I'm just saying what I'm saying. He's just thinking it's all a joke to him.
But he's reflecting on the times. That's what I feel. Because you know, I think like music to me is reflective of the times, and it don't get to a certain degree. Yes, you know, you're a role model, etc. But I feel like all of the blame is put on people highlighting what's going on. We need to change the actual village. I feel like it's a bit bigger than, do you understand what I mean?
If every music track was a 12 or 13-year-old girl talking about being raped and sexually assaulted, the outpouring of shock and disgust and investment, but because it's predominantly young males, talking about, you know, how have we allowed children to live in that environment and be in that environment and have those influences? And that's what I see all the time. I think there's different categories. You've got people that are about that life and they are living that life. You've got people that are copying. You've got people that have no idea what they're doing. There's different levels of it here, and I think people have a right to express themselves, but no one, you know, government, police, the people that have the powers to push funding in the right direction, they just go, oh well, they're young black males, or they're young this, or they're young that. They've got such judgment, racism, preconceived ideas that they just think, oh well. But if that was a girl, you know, if you had a white girl who was 12 talk about being, every time she walked out of a house, this happened, this happened, this happened, mental health, people would be, you know, you'd have everyone jumping on to make sure that our children didn't feel like that.
Yeah, no.
It's true.
Can't blame them boy there, man. You get me? Them boy there's just saying what he's saying.
I don't think it's blame. I think it's difficult because people do look up to music artists. You've always got the debates, you know, and I think the problem is that whereas you've got, you know, back in the day with certain music artists, you know, on MTV, and you know, the influences, you had little pockets of influences. The influences now are 24/7. You've got, just last week I've been asked to go into a school not too far from where we are because a year 2 student's just taken in a flick knife. No, year 2.
See, the other day, one of the youth, them stabbing up some woman, some mentally ill woman. You see that video?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Did you see it?
No, I don't.
Mad
look
thing.
At things like that.
Mad thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Mad. Still, the youths now are moving mad, crazy. You get what I'm saying? They're definitely desensitized with the whole stabbing things. From when we was younger, it was only one in a couple men that's on that savage behaviour. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Now, it's like even little dickhead youths are on that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's mad from all the, I'm going to keep saying it, but it's the computer games and that.
I think it's all of it. Whatever influence a young person has, if there isn't anybody, so, you know, remove music for a moment, video games, films, all these different things. And whereas, you know, like back in the day, there'd be a violent film and everyone would like, ban this film and no one watch it. And we had the control of doing that really because it was hard to find. But now all you need is a phone, and every negative influence you could possibly see. The Predator from 10 years ago is sat on your child's bed with them. They're like that, you know, being groomed and being brainwashed, and that's in every area. And if parents aren't able to do it, we should be coming together to do it.
You want to blame the music, but we need to look at who's buying the music as well. Like, come on, do you know what I mean? That's like, they like it, innit? Obviously, that's what sells, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't expect a man to change what he's, like, his music and then not make money as well. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they listen to him for, madness. It's like, that's what they used to listen to me for. But then again, man used to come with the pain and all that, like you said, you get what I'm saying, the real shit. But, you know what I'm saying, Cream? You get what I'm saying? Like, if he was to start spitting something else, it might not be the same, innit? They want to hear all that, woo. They want to hear all that madness, you get what I'm saying? They want to hear him, it's nuts. But that's what's entertaining them, innit? At the moment. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people aren't just seeing it as entertainment, they're copying it, and I think that obviously is dangerous because we've got kids killing kids who aren't living that life and don't need to be walking around. I mean, the perception when I go into primary, so the little ones, year 5, so you've got like 9-year-olds, and I say to them, if you went out with your friends, what percentage of other kids your age do you think have got a weapon on them? And they say
all of them.
100%.
All of them.
All of them. But all of them haven't. But they're scared, and I don't.
Yeah, in their heads they're thinking this one's got it, so I need it.
Yeah, and the thing is though that again, you know, we've had all this money invested safer streets for women, and of course women should feel safe on the streets, but kids don't.
The boys as well.
The kids don't. So hang on, how is you know, and people might be offended by that, and I'm not saying don't invest in that, but we've got millions of children that are frightened,
and that's what I'm saying. Although that is a problem, but let's not distract away because you lot ain't doing your job good enough, and that's what it is. What you lot gonna tell me that music is because like music has got you lot can't do in your job?
I left school.
Because people are spitting certain things, basically your country ain't running the way it needs to be run. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like in certain, do you understand what I mean? At the end of the day, it's children as well. Children can't run the place. How can we be living in a place where it's coming in like the adults are scared of the kids? That's just to show you how the mockery, the state of what you lot have got, how they've got the place running.
Do you know what it is?
Do you understand what I mean?
School days, I was bringing a knife to school. Like, no cap. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, so that's my whole thing as well. Obviously, it might not be as much as these days, but I'm saying there was man on that. Like, there was, don't get it twisted. Like, when man was young, there's man on that.
Yeah, but the young ones weren't running the cut though, was they?
No, but I'm just saying, it's not like everyone's moving like it's so crazy now. But what it is, it's just highlighted now. It's just, we've got social media, we've got camera phones. You know how much things,
people got stabbed
when I was
stuff,
young, that if you had it filmed, you know how gruesome it would be like, ooh, do you know how much things I've witnessed that would be like, ooh, like if we filmed it. We just never had the filming. We never had all that social media stuff. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Otherwise, if we did, you might have thought it was crazy when man was in school as well. Do you know what I mean? Warwick, like down the road, they used to have some big knives. Them man, they used to come out, them Asian youths used to cut, like, I'm telling you, like, man was tooled up in school.
And I think because we have got the media so accessible now, that you've got kids that aren't necessarily have a reason to be scared, being scared, because they've got the perception that it's everywhere, and you've got, the media loves to push out black males. Well, in Birmingham, there is a lot of little white people running around with knives and thinking they're this and thinking they're that, which is why I never...
The knife thing started in Scotland. Scottish people was mental with their knives from a long time. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's not black youths. It's white Scottish youths.
Yeah, I think.
But when you went jail, was there more black guys in there or white males in prison?
Depends what jail you're in. How about that?
No, but
when you're in Wales, you're going to see more white people. When you look at England
as a whole.
No, but I'm telling you.
When you look at England as a whole.
If you look at England as a whole.
There's more white males there than there is black males in jail.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's not what gets hyped,
but that's not what the media portrays.
And the problem with that is that when you are trying desperately to push out some level of education for communities, for families, for professionals, if the majority of the children under their care are white, they're like, well, we don't really need this. And it's like, well, do your children play the computer games? Do they watch the videos? Do they do this? Do they listen to that? And when you start showing them certain things, they're like, oh my God. But, so I think the media is blocking a lot of the work that's needed.
And the reason why the media do part of that is the black people, because it is the black people. When you look at the percentage though, the percentage is like, there shouldn't be so much, there's more black people in jail. If you look at the percentage of how much white people there are in this country to the percentage of how much coloured people are, like,
and that's to do with exclusions as well. It's imbalance. So if you've got a white male or a black male and you are going to exclude all of them, both of them are going to be excluded. What they will probably do is they will offer the white male or alternative provision, but they will potentially suggest the black male is homeschooled.
Mad.
And when you go to alternative provisions, there isn't many black people in them.
See.
And you tend to give them more chances, youth offending team or straight to prison. You're more likely to get a youth offending order if you're white than you are if you're black. You'll probably go straight to prison. And that's the truth of it, and people might not like...
Do not pass go, do not collect 200.
And that's the way it is. So when you do go into prison, there's all kinds of people. But if you go into alternative provisions, there isn't that many black people because they're not given enough chance. So, yeah.
Back to Josh though, Alison,
Yeah.
Have you got anything you want to tell us about him that we might not know? For his fans, you know?
Gosh.
Fans, he's got some
personal things or
just anything
in
general.
He had 7 girls turn up at his funeral saying there was his girlfriend, which wasn't true. That was quite interesting.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, one of them said one of them tried to wear white because she said she'd never had the chance to marry him. So yeah, it brings out all kinds of interesting people. I've had 2 attempts of extortion for money, saying they'd had babies off him. That wasn't true.
Wow.
Somebody wanted me to, before he was cremated, to extract his sperm so she could have a baby.
Oh, dear.
So nothing. I'm trying to think of something. Yeah, it's very strange being me. But yeah, Josh. I mean, Joshua, not Depzman. Josh was just a lovely a lovely little boy.
Who were artists and stuff? Do you know, like, who his favourite artist was or anything like that?
Yeah, he loved Skepta.
Yeah.
Loved Skepta.
Got Skepta.
JME.
Yeah.
JME was always who was in the house. And even when he was little, we'd be like... So obviously there was no phones as such then, so I'd print out lyrics of like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, so he could practice them when he was like 9, 10. You know.
Maniac, go on.
You know?
Yeah, you're a maniac, go on.
Then, you know, so he could practice, and then he, you know, and he actually performed with Skepta, and he was just so kind of
over the moon,
blown away. He just couldn't get his head around it, because as a little boy on MySpace,
big up Skepta though.
He was like, boy better know, you know, all over MySpace, little teeny little Josh, and then all of a sudden the next picture is he was on stage with boy better know, and he was just like, right, you know, and you know, I just was very most proud that he was settled and happy. That was his biggest achievement, to be mentally stable and ready, and you know, and I think he was only really happy and settled for about 2 months before he died. He only probably had 2 months.
I see he done a cypher with Sneak Bow and that as well.
Yeah, in Ibiza.
Yeah,
and again, you know, we've mentioned Jamal.
Jamal.
R.I.P. Jamal, because
Jamal,
you know, he was, and I know you know this, and everyone who knows him knows this, but what a lovely guy. Genuinely lovely. And, you know, the SBTV in Ibiza, you know, you see Depzman, you know, SBTV, Sneak Bow, At no point do you see Josh was on an all-inclusive Thompson holiday with me, with our little wristbands, with his inflatable kind of like flamingo, and then he's like, Mum, I need money. What do you need money for, Josh? Because Josh loved to spend my money. That was his favourite pastime. I'm like, what for now? He goes, nah, just €200. Why? There's this geezer.
200, you know.
There's this geezer. Yeah, and I need to get a taxi and go over. So Josh was 15, maybe almost 16. So you get a taxi all the way to the other side of the island. Well, who is it? Because, you know. It
worked, though.
It worked.
He knew he was doing.
You know, and he was like, Jamal was like, you know, just if you can get here, come then and I'll film you. And he was like, yeah, I'm there. And he was like, Mum, I need some money. So he got it over there, and then that was it. He did it. And then I remember being on the back of you know, those rodeo bulls. So I was on a rodeo bull with Josh, and then all of a sudden he literally, I'm there, mum, son, you know, he was young, I was his mum, so we were like riding this rodeo bull. Next minute I was literally dashed, flying off this bull, because Sneak Bow and everyone was walking towards him, and he was trying to style it out that he didn't know me. So I literally got flung off this bull. I landed on the floor thinking, why has he done that? And he's like, you're good. And he's like looking at me like, don't speak to me.
Yeah, don't be like,
so that was that was the Ibiza story. I loved it. Great child.
Style in the thing.
Yeah, all the time we'd go out in Ibiza, and people were like, oh, is that Depzman? And be like, don't speak to me, Mum. And then he'd just disown me. But no, I didn't mind. He was happy.
Yeah, no, it worked though, because Jamal was pushing him, man. Because most of his stuff was on SB, and I see a couple of things on P110 as well.
Yeah.
They're like the big P110 is like the big thing for up north.
Okay.
And that, no.
Yeah.
You done good, man.
I think P110's been taken over now. I think it's been bought by other people who have respect for. The two previous owners of P110 are disrespectful, selfish, and deserve no credit whatsoever.
Oh, is it?
So the original P110 people, they can do whatever they want to do, but karma has caught with them, and people have bought them out, so... Yeah, because when Josh died, hence why any music artist, whatever your age you are, whatever music you have on those channels, please realise that when you die, that your family is not getting a single penny of those views. You know, and I know...
Unless they've got it on their own channel.
Unless you've got it on your own channel, or if you are a young, up-and-coming, it is a platform. And as soon as you've got that opportunity, work really, really hard, take full advantage of the platform, and then set your own platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, because Josh was filmed as a under 18, so when he died and the views went through the roof, didn't make no one even.
Yeah, didn't make no difference.
Didn't make no difference. So you just have to protect yourself, and you know like when he did Lord of the Mics, that's an amazing platform. But he used that platform to spring off and do work hard. But people think they get this one opportunity and they're blown. It doesn't work like that. You have to work really hard behind the scenes.
Definitely, man. R.I.P. Josh, man. Man's got the fire round for you because I forgot the fire round last time with President T because I got 2 waved, yeah. Yeah, I just trying. Do you see we've got that board now? And Deluxe never put the fire round on the board, fam. So I was just watching the board and then there weren't no fire rounds. So now I know at least, boom, fire round now. But I've had to switch it up for Alison, you get me, normally.
Yeah.
But how you're talking like I could have left it still, you know. Because I all took out, you know, like 50 or this one and because the fire round is this or that, you get what I'm saying? But I had other questions like, you know, 50 Cent or I don't know, Jadakiss or but you're moving like I could have asked you that. But I know I could definitely ask you Tupac or Biggie. Biggie?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think he was more authentic.
Do you reckon after we just stood about the sardines and that?
Yeah. I think he had more real life experience in that sense, and I think Tupac was more of kind of inspirational quotations that turned to music.
Tupac more real still. Well, yeah, Tupac more real still, but Biggie, now I rate Biggie though. What's beef? You get what I'm saying? What's beef? But yeah, this was definitely an Alison one. You get me? Conservative or Labour?
Labour.
You like that one, innit? You're moving conservative though. We can't ask everyone that, but I'm conservative still. What about you, Grieve?
Labour, innit?
I'm fish and chips, mate. I used to be Labour, but I'm conservative now, man. Get the blacks out
I
of
don't
it.
think any of them should be.
Get the blacks out of it, man. Get them back to their own country. I'm just winding you up. I'm going to wind you up. Beyonce or Rihanna?
Ooh, Beyonce.
Beyonce or Rihanna? Or Riri?
It's a hard one, you know.
It is a hard one.
Hey, man.
I love Rihanna.
Yeah, I do as well, but Beyonce is Beyonce,
I swear,
innit?
yeah, Beyonce.
But then again, I pick Ashanti. I pick Ashanti over Beyonce though. But you know what it is? I would have picked Rihanna, but Rihanna got breeded.
I love Riri.
Bobby Brown or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Michael over Bobby?
Yeah, I don't like Bobby Brown.
Michael used to touch kids though.
Allegedly.
I'm joking. Okay. I'm joking. I don't know about allegedly.
Bobby Brown used to touch Whitney, so which...
Look, that's the next question as well. Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey?
Whitney Houston.
Come on, you know the thing. Adele or Amy Winehouse? Hard one, innit? Come on, man.
I'm just going to say Adele.
Amy, man.
I think
Amy,
got
man.
more of a
Amy,
rawness.
real, man. Amy, man. Amy said, fuck rehab, man. Amy said, fuck rehab. I'm just going to do this B thing till I'm dead. Yeah, Amy just do it. Huh?
You're rating
I'm just rating her realness. Do you get what I'm saying? Cause I remember my mum wouldn't quit smoking. They told her to quit smoking. She said, I'm mad. But yeah, Joe to see your boys to men.
Joe to say.
Yeah, Joe to see, you know the thing. Beres Hammond or Sizzler?
Beres Hammond.
Beres over Sizzler, yeah?
Only because of my age, and I know more about him than I do.
Yeah, come on.
So that's
now,
my honest answer.
Beres is lit though.
Beres a big man. That's a hard one still.
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
Sizzler.
You going with Sizzler.
I
can't. Yeah, Sizzler's up. But you see Beres. Yeah, come on. Sizzler got every tune of Sizzler's a big tune still.
Yeah,
but you see what? I did not. I went to one Beres show, yeah, in Manchester.
Bad performer, you know.
What?
I know.
I went there accidentally. Zyka and all these people. Them man, they was over there. Man went over there, and it was Beres and Sanchez.
Big up Sanchez as well. Yeah, come on.
That I couldn't believe, but yeah. So I can't. It's different.
Yeah, it's
whatever you want to listen, it's a different type of. But this one is a racist one still. Bob Marley or UB40.
Bob Marley.
Come on now, I'm just being racist. I had to fling some for my white people in there.
The area I live in,
UB40.
Yeah.
They're hard though, you know.
Yeah, they are.
Don't stand UB40.
I was going to say you can't stand.
Yeah,
they
don't
have
stand.
hard moments.
Don't start them, but they can't chat to Bob in it.
Bob Marley, that's a ledge, but
don't stand UB40.
Yeah, come on.
Don't start them. Look, man's starting to sweat as well now, and I don't even want to touch my fibres, man. Look, my fibres are there. You get what I'm saying? But yeah. Bounty Killer or Beanie Man?
I don't know enough about either of them, so for answer I'm just being fake by just saying one.
Simple. Bounty or Beanie?
I think it's Bounty, you know.
I was going to take it long. Bounty, it's got to be Bounty over Beanie. But Beanie, you can't style Beanie as well. Do you know about Chris Brown or Usher?
Yeah. I don't like Chris Brown. I don't know why. I just don't like something about him. Usher.
Simple. You're with me. She's done some Chris Brown.
I like both, but I do like Chris Brown. I think he's underrated.
Okay. BMW or Mercedes?
BMW.
Okay.
Max.
EastEnders or Coronation Street?
Neither. Don't like either of them.
Neighbours or Home and Away?
Don't like either of them either.
I didn't ask you. EastEnders or Corey?
EastEnders, but I don't watch them.
Neighbours or Home and Away?
Home and Away.
I'll say Neighbours and EastEnders. Weakest Link or Countdown? Different.
Weakest Link. I think it's more entertaining.
Come on, Weakest Link gotta be Anne. You get me? Big up Anne. Get me? That I used to watch that every day in jail, religiously. BBC or ITV?
BBC.
BBC or ITV?
ITV. They need to
BBC
get rid of TV license.
Yeah. The TV license. Nah, I just can't take the adverts. That's why I'm BBC still. YouTube or Netflix?
Oh, I would have said YouTube, but it's the advert thing I don't like anymore, so I'm going to say Netflix.
YouTube or Netflix?
YouTube
with me as well. Just, Sister Act or The Colour Purple?
Colour Purple.
That's not even a question. The Colour Purple.
What's the question? Sister Act?
That's not for
or
me.
The Colour Purple? You get what I'm saying? Both Whoopi Goldberg going mad. You get what I'm saying? Instagram or Facebook?
I'm going to show my age now. Facebook.
That's like my mum would have said. My mum would have said Facebook.
I only set up Instagram this year.
Come on, Insta. Twitter or Snapchat?
I haven't got Snapchat, but I've got Twitter.
I'll pick Twitter over Snapchat.
This is my age now. It's so much.
I've got both of them. I'll pick Twitter over Snapchat. What are you going to say, Twitter or Snapchat? You don't even tweet.
I don't even snap. I just use the Snap for the I like the little filters sometimes.
You snap more than you tweet?
Yeah, Snap maybe.
Apple juice or orange juice?
Apple.
Come on. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Come on, original thing. Brandy or vodka?
Brandy.
Brandy or vodka?
Brandy. Hennessy.
I might be voddy, you know.
Really?
I might be.
I
might be, because that's what queffs me still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The vodka queffs me. I could drink brown juice all night.
Cranberry and vodka and cranberry. If I drink that, I know already what's going to happen to me.
I use the Ciroc.
I like for Ciroc though. Ciroc is lit. I like the flavoured
That's
bodies.
just what Josh drunk when he was about 30.
But you see, like Grey Goose and that.
The goose will have me goosing.
That is...
Have me moving loose.
That's crazy.
The goose will have me moving loose, you get what I'm saying? Not loose like that lava, but you get what I'm saying? Hold on. Rum or whiskey?
Rum.
Come on, eat that question.
Ray.
What type of whiskey? What type? Whiskey, some Scottish man thing. Wine or cocktail?
Cocktails.
Yeah, cocktail.
Man can't pick no cock.
No.
Lava. Wine, anything to do with cock or tail, I don't want none of that. I don't want nothing to do with cock or tail. Lava. Wine.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to read that, but something made me think that you lot would like the cock. You get me, tail. You get me? Something made me know you lot would like the cock and tail, but I'm not on that. Lava. You get what I'm saying? What's your favourite cock?
Pina colada, but there's one called...
Oh my gosh, your favourite cock is pina colada, man.
I like porn star martini.
What, Shanna?
And I like cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan?
Yeah,
what was that?
And mojito as well.
Oh yeah, the mint one.
Listen,
raspberry one.
We're not dealing with no form of cocktail like dealers. We don't want none of that. Dealers knows we're solid. We don't want none of that. Nothing to do with cocktail, arse, anal, men uniting, none of that. You get me? Strawberry or chocolate milkshake?
Strawberry.
Strawberry milkshake.
Strawberry's nice though. Chinese or Indian?
Indian.
Indian over Chinese?
Yeah, because some of that Chinese...
Special fried rice, no pork.
You don't know what's in it though, really.
Special fried rice, no pork.
I hear that, you know.
Sweet and sour chicken, Hong Kong style.
I saw a documentary once.
Sweet and sour chicken, Hong Kong style.
I saw a documentary and that put me off Chinese. It might not have been true, but now I'm alright.
So what? Now you're just hairstyling Chinese now, Cream?
I'm not styling Chinese, but what she said is true.
So what? Are you Indian now this week? Are you Indian this week?
If I'm having Chinese, I only go top tier Chinese.
Are you Indian this week? Because you're normally Chinese, but you
No,
Indian
I
this week.
said I'm both.
Oh my Lord, she did it again.
I did say I was both.
You're doing it again, but I'm Chinese, you get me?
I don't
you get what I'm saying?
Chinese.
Without pork.
No pork, special fried rice, sweet and sour
I like
chicken,
Singapore noodles.
Hong Kong style.
Yeah.
Singapore
You can't go
noodles
wrong
is
with
nice. The
noodles.
versatility
You know what I'm saying?
noodles as well. And the hot. Mm-hmm.
Italian or Turkish?
Italian.
Turkish, Alison,
Because my
man.
mum was half Italian. So I have to
Really,
be
Italian food is so nice.
Yeah, but I'm
I
just-
went to I went to a Turkish restaurant,
Turkish, man. It's got to be Turkish, man. Raksola. Metse, you get me? Rice and peas or jollof?
Rice and peas.
But you're from Niger, though, man. You're supposed to pattern with
Rice
the
and
jollof.
peas. That she said.
Yeah, we're rice and peas, car. You get me? We're Caribbean,
nice,
but
innit?
you're African, fam.
Yeah, but that doesn't
You're
mean
supposed. No, I'm killing it. I'm just killing it.
food.
No, but everyone that comes on that's African, they pick jollof, innit? You know them ones there, we're just on some rice and peas thing. I picked jollof to begin with,
Yeah.
but then I got pattern. Cream and that said, are you going mad? Cream had to give me some backhand. Like, yo, what are you dealing with, Bridget? England or America?
England.
England or America, come on, we've got to be English, innit? Fuck them Americans. I'm only joking. Big up the
I ain't
Americans.
F the America. You know I love America.
You
I
love America.
love America.
You could
I
live
actually
there
do.
still.
I could live there,
You
yes.
could live there still.
Yeah.
Jamaica or Thailand? Did Jamaica?
Haven't been. No, she don't know.
Nah,
I haven't been to
but
either.
which one would you rather go to then?
Thailand.
Thailand. You're racist, man.
No, someone told me just
You're
this
racist.
week.
You get what I'm saying?
Someone told me just
don't want
this
to be around the
week
black
that
bastards. It's
that
cool.
they're- that they're
You've had enough of
son
the
and
black
their daughter's in
bastards. You know the
Thailand.
ones there.
Thailand's meant to be lit.
She's had enough of the black bastards. we saying Thailand. You're saying
No,
Thailand. Oh
I said
my
I was
lordy.
speaking to somebody today, like
This is
their
more
daughter's in
outburst.
Thailand. They were saying how lit. Z's mum used to live in Thailand.
Lava. I'm not
lit
going
over there,
Thailand.
but Jamaica.
Lava for Thailand. I'm not going Thailand. Lava for the lady boys and that. I'm not even holding my talk. I don't want to go around no lady boys that can beat me up and all that. Them lady boys over there supposed to be mad physical and that.
Don't make me
Do you
laugh.
get what I'm saying? That's a long imagine like of lady boy mashing you up. You get what I'm saying? That's mad thing. But
that's
yeah,
just in
Nike or
one car.
Adidas?
Nike.
Come on, man. Gotta be Gucci or Louis.
Gucci, but that's because Josh wore Gucci.
Simple. What are you going to say? Are both, innit? Gucci
Well,
for accessories.
but it's the truth, though. That's how
what's
I
your normal
feel.
thing? What's your thing? Gucci for accessories?
Louis for the accessories and
Oh, Louis
Gucci
for
for
accessories.
clothing.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. I knew it was something.
It's both for me
Yeah.
because
Do you rather be indoors or outdoors?
Without getting like psychological, indoors for me, outdoors if I'm talking about Josh.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate being inside. You get what I'm trying to say? It's a bit more calming for me. Because outside I can get in trouble, I can kill people. No, I'm joking. But yeah, flipping, getting mad again, outburst. Looks or personality? I know you're not even caring about people no more, but look, if you back in the day when you was on your thing, was you on looks or personality?
Looks initially and
Come on.
personality
You're,
keeps.
yeah, you're just being honest.
keeps
You
it.
know what I'm saying? It's got to be looks.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're looking mental, you don't want to be. Yeah, you don't want to be with no one looking like Deluxe. You want to be with, you know what I'm saying? You want to be with Spray, not Deluxe. No, I'm joking. Now, you know where I'm getting you. You need getting for the next 12 episodes. Hold on. 11 episodes. You need it for the rest of the season. Do you get what I'm saying? I need a new cameraman, everyone, as well. Like, DM the show. Do you get what I'm saying? DM the show. RTM Podcast Show on Instagram. You need to have 2 cameras. Deluxe is trying to leave after this season. I've tried to twang him. He wants to go. He's not a team player. You get what I'm saying, Alison?
Oh.
He's not a team player. You get what I'm saying? He said, I'm getting on to him too much and all that. He's going mad. You get what I'm saying? Saying I'm getting on to him and Cream not chat to him. He say he wants to leave. You get what I'm saying?
one door closes, 5 more
He wants to
open.
leave. You get me? Bad man or good boy? You like
Good
bad
boy.
man? Whatever, man.
Good boy.
Your ex is
Good.
on the M's. In my
He
bad
wasn't
man.
bad.
In my bad boy.
He wasn't a bad
In my
person.
bad people.
Good.
You get in my bad people. You like bad people.
Good people.
You like bad people, but
Let her answer. She said she likes good.
yeah, she's on mind games. She's on mind games. You have to say that. Cinema or restaurant?
Restaurant.
You ever go eat?
Restaurant, definitely.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see restaurant. Cinema, eat that thing anyway. You can watch it. You can watch everything in your yard. You need to smoke as well.
I actually eat. Do you know what I do in the cinema? I eat in the cinema. Red starts looking at me because I'm just munching all the way through. I literally just bite everything at the thing.
Eat at cinema. All you can get is them nachos and eat that thing with the cheese and pickles and all that.
Popcorn, I get that. Hot dog, I get everything.
Money or love, Alison?
Love.
But I want some money, with a lot of money.
Money.
Even though I say
money.
Love.
Cash.
Money. You get what I'm saying? Cause I see love. Fuck love. You get what I'm saying? Cause love ends.
But
love dies.
But you have got love for people.
Love dies. I've got love for people, but I'm saying like see love. Unless it's like the
but if
love.
someone gave me £1 billion now, it wouldn't make losing Josh better.
True stories.
But if you gave Joshua back to me, that's love. Love will always
Exactly.
No, but that's not love, man. And you know what I'm saying. Don't start the fire.
No, but
don't try and start the fire around. You get me? Like money or love. Money. You get what I'm saying? Cause love just moves strange. You get what I'm saying? This is your special question. Handsworth or Aston? Both. Man's trying to gang you off, see if you're a Johnny or if you're a Burger. You get me? I'm trying to gang you off.
I know people from...
Man's trying to gang you off, you get what I'm saying? But you pick the political answer, you know, like...
It's the real answer.
It's the political answer, you didn't want to gang yourself off. You get me? But that's the fire round. Thanks for taking part.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking part in... as you lot see, I put effort in. You get me? Made a different fire round for you.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, comment you lot's answers as well to that fire round.
Yeah.
But, current affairs, Creamos.
Right, so Liverpool winning the FA Cup. I know you're gassed. Reds was gassed.
I was about to say, it's Reds what told you to put that on, innit?
Reds was gassed.
You know, like, who do you support? Do you even support a team?
Nah, not really.
No, but
not really.
I thought you would have been gassed about that.
Yeah, obviously. You see,
come on. I work just round the corner
but
from us.
Mane, I eat that though. The black man try to ruin it for the whole team again. The black man missing a penalty.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, man. Simicas had to come and pattern up, you get what I'm saying? And Alison and the white boy, them had to save the day, you get what I'm saying? The black cute try missed the penalty and with his mad hairline, you get me? Mane and his mad hairline, but go on, next thing.
So basically, there's been some ladies advertising on TikTok and they're meant to be allegedly from SPAC Nation, but they're advertising on there trying to lure 13-year-olds, 13 and 40-year-olds for brunch.
She doesn't know what
so you don't know. So it's basically, SPAC Nation is like a very big church, but it's had a lot of controversy around it. You know, like how they're getting their members in. They've got a lot of young ones coming in there and, you know, there's a lot of money around it and stuff. Like there's been a lot of things talking about them grooming them into coming into the church, etc. So basically there was a lady on her TikTok and she was saying basically that she wants to take 10 girls at the beginning of April to a brunch in London, preferably aged 13 to 16. Everything will be paid for, etc., etc. So some girls, you know, were messaging and that, and then they was finding out that they're members of the SPAC Nation Church. So a lot of people's getting onto them saying, like, you know, that's kind of like grooming because they're underage. Don't you think you should be reaching out to people's parents and things like that?
I think I saw something.
Do you know
about
what I
that,
mean?
you know?
So, like, what's your take on it?
Yeah, it's like a pedo thing, innit? Like you shouldn't be if you're grooming, innit? Like you're talking to little kids and that, innit? Trying to get them to...
Because if you're gonna... because it did say, like, I think they want to teach them how to be boss... Like, you know,
boss babes
boss
and all that.
babes
Yeah,
or
I saw
what,
that.
You're 13.
Yeah, you can't reach out to the child directly. It's got to be done through the parents.
Through the parent, do you know what I mean?
Thing.
Yeah, and then you bringing them to brunch, showing them a type of lifestyle and stuff. That's grooming.
Yeah, and
do you understand what I mean?
You're asking 13 children to get on public transport, go to meet grown-ups, be given gifts. Nah, that's you put that in all walks of life, and that's not all right.
Yeah, like what are you doing? So I just thought too much. So anyway, but they was getting on to them, innit? But yeah you shouldn't be doing that, innit? That is grooming, innit?
Yeah. A man was a groomer still. I groom enough you somewhere and still, you get me? Had them doing enough crime. No, I'm joking.
No, allegedly.
Fully, no alleged. You get
what,
me?
You was telling them to come?
No, I'm saying that man was grooming. You get what I'm saying? As it, like, you know, we was grooming, selling people sending
I don't
people's kids up country, boom, grooming. Everything's getting groomed on the corner. You get me? I'm having an outburst again. Alleged.
So basically, did you hear about, obviously you must have heard about Kevin Samuels. Do you know who Kevin Samuels is?
Yeah.
No? Okay, so but he's an American man.
He's a madman.
But he is...
Madder than me, Alison.
He's like very, very well known. He's gone mega viral and he's all for like... you know, like the male's opinion on women, you know, that they've got a time span on them.
I do know who you're talking about. Yeah, I do know who you're talking about.
And he cuts them off quick.
And
like any girl coming chatting
he basically, he's all into this high value. He believes that your value is based on how much money you have in the bank, how much money you earn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so you're a high value man. I think if you make over a certain amount, six figures a certain amount. Which I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God. I definitely know that money don't make you high value. You've got to have that's not it. But
no, but if you're a man just jumping on a bus now, you can't have high value. How? If you're getting on the bus,
I just
and doing
feel like
madness and
no. But I don't feel like
you can't take no one cinema or.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that I want a broke person.
Your value's mad.
I'm just saying that that's not how I based your value upon.
You better
that.
go to prison.
My value isn't based upon. You could have somebody that's got a lot of money, and they don't even treat you right. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I'm gonna have someone as my husband, money is a part of it.
A lot of them people with the money don't treat them right.
But you're gonna have to have different attributes. You need to be, you know what I'm saying, good to me, a good dad. You know what I'm saying?
All of it.
All of these type of things. That's not the only thing that makes a great man. But anyway, he passed away. And
you're trying to have jokes about him passing away.
I'm not having any jokes because I don't joke over the dead.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Do you get what I'm saying? R.I.P.
You get me?
R.I.P. But
R.I.P. the dog. You get me?
I do have an opinion on it though, which I will say. I wouldn't be real if I'm not gonna. I'd be lying if I didn't have my thoughts.
Yeah, you're happy about it.
I'm not happy about it. Why would I be happy about someone passing? Don't be silly. Yeah, but don't put that out. But yeah, I'm not happy about that.
I'm happy about it.
But what I will say is, we're all human, and none of us can tell anybody what their destiny is. We don't have that authority. Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't have that power. Do you understand what I mean? You can't tell somebody after a certain age you're not going to meet anybody after a certain age. You don't understand? I didn't like the way how he told people that's it, your cut-off date, your cut-off date, your cut-off date. Like, he passed away before most of those women that he gave a cut-off date. He didn't even know that about himself. Do you understand what I mean? Like, you don't know what's going to happen.
How did he dead?
He died. He must have been with a woman as well.
Heart attack.
He had a heart attack.
Or on top of the woman?
I don't know if it was on top of her, but apparently he met her that night. And then he was complaining of chest pains, and he fell on top of her.
Dear.
Do you know what I mean?
Has he been vaccinated?
I mean, I know.
That's sounding like the vaccine. Don't take the vaccine.
Do you get what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah. Which again goes back to influences, media. If you haven't got it in you to have your own opinion on things, and if you haven't got self-belief and self-worth, you can be easily influenced. So for the women that listen to him, that's a shame for them, really, to believe that.
Yeah. But I do think like it wasn't nice to see how much people was making fun of his death. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think anyone dying, whoever they are, you know, I don't think it's
some
it's
people
right
for dead,
people.
man. Some people for dead, man.
You know.
Not everyone for live, man. Some people for dead.
But I feel like you need to be... I'm a strong believer in the power of the tongue. Do you know what I mean? There's life and death in the power of the tongue, and there's a lot of things that used to come out of his mouth. And he used to speak a lot of things over women and stuff like that. Do you get what I mean?
Yes,
and
negative.
Yeah, and he had a lot of men believing in bullshit to me, because there were so much men who didn't even have half of 6 figures in their bank account going in like they was high value men, talking down on females. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So
again, it's just what we're creating at the moment, isn't it? We're making a lot of young people think that, you know, you hear of, 12, 13-year-olds setting up OnlyFans accounts.
Yeah, and you have to...
Astaghfirullah, no way.
Yeah,
How is this possible?
Yeah. And I just...
12, 13?
Because we've
they must have to lie about their age,
of course,
man.
Easy money, isn't it? I think they're putting more regulations in, but
that's
what we're creating.
And I just wanted to say another thing as well. Like, every time a woman would come on there, like, he would speak about, how fit you are, how fertile you are, how young you are, like how fit. and he was always drinking Red Bull, and he had a heart attack.
Man,
and he
dealing
needed
with Red Bull.
I think he just needed to look at his own health, because if he had he might have been able to see something that was there. He might have been slim and stuff, but he obviously wasn't as fit as he thought he was.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? So sometimes mow your own lawn and not mow where everybody else's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally. And I think, you know, we sometimes have to have our own beliefs in ourselves, but that needs to come from somewhere as well.
Ah, man, the gal need to get back in the kitchen, man. R.I.P. Kevin Samuels, you get what I'm saying?
R.I.P.
Get back in the kitchen and get the hoovers out, you get me? Get the hoovers out, you know what I mean? You get me? Start learning how to cook like creamers. You get me? The girl need to know their skin.
You already know.
Yeah, the girl need to know their skin and play their part. You get me? The man them need to start make some money and stop getting on the bus and all them foolishness.
But I miss no meals. But
I'm going mad another.
No, but the men need to fix up.
R.I.P.
You already know.
No, Depzman, you would have felt me still. You get? Not like that. That's lava, but you would have rated, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Underneath sex, like a Caesar madman as well.
So there was something else that I saw.
Them not got on the RICO charge. What about that?
Yeah, that's on the list as well. Young Thug. Well, we might as well talk about that now.
You heard about Young Thug?
Do you know Young Thug, the rapper?
You heard about him?
I haven't heard what's happened.
So,
but you know we talk about that. Yeah.
Do you know what a RICO charge is? It's basically a charge where they it's a racketeering charge, what they have in America, where they bring down, you know, your entire organisation if they feel like the proceedings are used for criminal activity, etc. and stuff. But they normally only do it, you know, they have like a very high, what's that?
Percentage of guilty.
Conviction rate is like 99%, apparently, something like that. So they have they have you normally bang to rights on either phone some form of, you know. So they've picked him up over the weekend, him and 28 members of his YSL, and you know there's murder involved, all kinds of stuff, and it's just not looking good for them. Do you know what I mean? So, boy, what do you think about that, Sway?
Did they confiscate all the handbags?
What?
Astaghfirullah.
What are you on about?
No, you know the Monday when the girls' handbags and all them things. You get me?
Oh, you're a joker, you know. I just realised what you meant, but yeah. Oh, yeah, but that's mad. They've got Gunner.
How come they're always on the rap guys, man? I don't get it.
But they're saying they're going to use their rap lyrics against them.
Yeah, obviously, but I'm saying there must be so much other criminals. Like
that doesn't surprise me. I see it all the time.
What do you think about that?
I
lyrics being used against you.
Yeah, but you should know what you're saying as well.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
I clearly say in the prisons, again, from only what I do know, what I don't know. I can only, again, speak about what I do know. Same way when they're coming out of prison and they're known to the police. The police have got intelligence that they're still contacting people that potentially part of their licence is not to contact them. How many times are we now seeing people coming out of prison, being filmed, the champagne, the girls, the cars, but what they don't realise in some cases is the drones are filming to see who they are with. So they're coming out, they're overwhelmed by their release, and the police are already starting
to put
the next two together, and they're there filming themselves, and then suddenly the picture of the co-defendant, the area they've driven through, and then you breach your licence, come back. And again, it's just to make young people aware of the fact that the police have the authority and the software to get into encrypted phones now.
Look at the encrypting.
You know, they can, and too many people are just thinking they're untouchable. So again, it's, you know.
Some people are untouchable because they talk too much. You get me? Because them in farmer. Them in farm. You get me? But yeah, nah. Free them lot though, even though they're not gonna get freed. But what else is there?
There was one more other thing. There's I'm not sure if you know her. Her name's Miss Fabulous. She does like YouTube stuff. She's like a YouTube girl. But she was in hospital. She got rushed to hospital because her appendix burst because she was doing balloons. Is that what the whip thing is? That's what the whip. Yeah, that's balloon. Yeah, balloons. So basically, she was doing, and she said she was only doing like a couple of them.
Oh, mind games. She wasn't just doing a couple, man.
That must have been excessive.
She weren't doing a couple, man.
She said that the doctor said that she wouldn't have known the damage it was doing on the inside. Once it reaches the end, even one will just trigger it to, so she's obviously been doing it over time or whatever. But anyway, but her appendix burst, she was on like a drip bag and all kinds of stuff and whatever. And
them balloons,
people need to know what they're doing still, you know, because they will seem like they're harmless.
Yeah, I'm just really bored. I think, you know, if you don't want to go to prison, don't do crime.
Yeah.
If you don't want to injure your body, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
You know, so without sounding really,
have you ever
really
done
bored.
any drugs?
No, never.
Not even weed?
Not even anything.
Not even weed?
No.
Not even two draws?
No, nothing.
That's good.
People think because Josh was my son,
You definitely you definitely had some second-hand weed smoke.
Yeah, that I can't argue with.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't argue with that. But yeah, I just think, you know, it's...
Not a little cheeky one. No,
never,
little cheeky
ever,
one.
ever.
Little cheeky one in the toilet.
Never, ever.
Do you know what I mean? No, I'm joking.
I've
had a few cheeky ones, but I quit that, man. I've snapped out.
I think all these things we've spoke about today, it's like there's a flip side to all of this, you know. If you want to be on the road, you want to do this, there's got to be a flip side. And I'm a firm believer that whatever you do in life, if you know what you're getting into and you still go for it, then that's up to you then, isn't it? But I think we've got a generation to do with drugs and alcohol and this and this that they're not seeing this side of it. They're just being sold a dream.
You know, as a previous drug addict, you get, it sounds a bit nuts being a drug, but as a previous drug addict, what I can say with the drug thing is like it's an escape, man. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people use drugs for just an escape as well. Like, do you know what I mean? It's mad. Like a lot of people just don't even want to face up to reality, I think, as well. Do you know what I mean? And then even like with the nose thing, 'cause I used to do the nose thing, you get me? But with the nose thing, it's for confidence. Do you know what I mean? Some people ain't got that confidence, but I got the confidence without it. So I can just keep that to the curb and still pattern up my thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. But at a point where it becomes addictive, you start thinking, like you kind of need it to do certain things or move.
About
I mean?
Josh is my drug. It's just not a drug that's, you know, me getting up every day.
You need to find an addiction.
I have that and I'm able to do that. And I can't imagine if I didn't have that escape and I didn't have that, I don't know if I'd be here, if I'm honest. But, you know, so it is an escapism. And it is, you know, usually because there's something underneath that you're trying to get away from or cover and hide. Even
though Amy, man, R.I.P. the Queen, you get me? But that was her escape, you get me? Heroin, you get me? You could hear it in her tunes, in her lyrics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought, but them balloons, obviously they're very dangerous.
But you wouldn't think that.
It would burst your appendix.
You wouldn't think they were that dangerous though, compared to like all the other drugs. Do you know what I mean? Because I've had a few balloons. I've had 1 or 50. Do you know what I mean? No, I've had 1 or 50 in a row.
That made me laugh.
No, but it's a mad buzz. It's a mad buzz, especially
oxygen going
in the. You must have had a balloon. If
I've
you
had a balloon before.
In the festivals and all that.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean?
I've never had I've never done crazy amounts or anything like that. But I would never have another one.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
No, balloons are mental still. But yeah.
What, have you got any current affairs?
Nah, I ain't got no current affairs because I didn't look into all of that. Cause I thought, Alison, man, I don't really want to, because she might not know about any current affairs. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you might, so I just didn't even look into it.
What the hell? Brother, hold on, man. Hold on, man. Please. Who is that coming off the goddamn pick and roll there, boy? Oh, brother, who's that on the logo? Because Jordan never did that move. He never wore his goddamn shoe. Brother got the baby blue goddamn kind cord. Got the J's with an Air Max bottom, man. Brother, come on, let me three things. Let me
2023. I'm gonna live by 2023. There you go. Study. You made it though, you made it at little distance. That's like a little 3 meters still.
I just go in on my private bathroom and see one chunk load of shit in the commode. And not even toilet paper there in it. So that means oh shit in they never wipe all them button in my blood clot house, dog. How are the pussy clot to some people? Nobody come back on my yard. I go sit in my bathroom. Bomba clot, man.
Back for you know. Yo, what did I say? You said Allahu Akbar, fam. I never. Yes, you did. Don't lie. Who did? Don't lie. Don't lie to me. Say your sister.
Fucked up. Who never fucked up hands in the air? Oh no.
Your titty is big.
Oh, when I see you want to run more, don't tell that little girl that. More pressure, man.
Fucking went on. Well on, dear. Said fucking went on side. I know what said. Fucking pricks. Look at you, man. You fucking cowards. You play for my club. You play for our great club. Yeah? Our fucking great club. Clowns. You fucking clowns! You should fucking walk home from Newcastle. You should walk back to London. You should fucking walk back. Every fucking gooner should get refunded for their fucking ticket tonight. Every fucking gooner that travelled to Newcastle should get fucking refunded. You fucking cowards. You fucking don't care. You don't care. You don't like Henri. You don't like Vieira. You don't care. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You never will. You ain't got the fucking minerals. Cowards. Fucking cowards. You'll never get away with me to play for this club. You'll never get it.
I said, oh yeah. I said, oh yeah. I said, oh yeah. We are the Gunners. I said, no. I said, no. We are the Gunners. Now and forever. I said, oh yeah. We are the Gunners. Everywhere we are the Gunners.
We're going to get into the main subject though. Get back to grieving. Because it's a wide subject as well. So I picked it. Because it's like, obviously we're talking about grieving loved ones. Like I've had to grieve my mum, my dad, you've had to grieve Josh, Cream, you've had to grieve someone, whoever you've had to grieve. But there's different parts of grieving as well. Like you've had to grieve, say when you break up with someone in a relationship, that's grieving someone. And I haven't, you might not realise you're grieving, but you're grieving, do you get what I'm trying to say? Because you're with that person a lot, or you talk to that person a lot, then all of a sudden now you don't talk to them no more. So it's something you're grieving, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, man's been grieving and healing and that, you get what I'm saying? Man's a bad boy, so man's back on top form. But I'm saying like, top form, you get me? But what's your outlook on grief and that? What have you had to go through to pattern up your thing? Is it just a case of staying busy?
Kinda.
Because I noticed that is a lot of people's way of dealing with grief. Yeah. Even like my can I say my stepmom? Not my stepmom, but the mother of my child's mum. She's had to do a lot of grieving. Oh, do you know what I mean? And really? Yeah, because she's lost a child. She's lost. Do you know what I'm saying? But I see how she even deals with it. Yeah. And she just keeps busy. Do you know what I mean? And you look at this woman, you think, you're sick. You're heavy, because do you know the way you like? It's like even you. I've got that respect for you. Yeah. Because I know I don't know what I do. I swear down, I don't know what I do. I'll kill people. In my brain, how I feel now. But Josh, if that happened to me, is everyone's dying.
But Josh being Depzman kind of took that away from me, because I wasn't brave to do what I do. I didn't have a choice because Depzman was killed. The public element brought his fans to me. I had thousands of young people, they couldn't cope with
Did you have comfort in that though, with like people reaching out to you?
Because I'd gone from being his mum, this massive void that is hard to understand. It took me a year to stop ordering the same kind of food for him. His favourite food and stuff. and because I had no choice but to be so busy, that was a blessing, really. You know, I look back and I just think the whole time I had people from all over the country come into my house. I had people self-harming, drugs, screaming, violent, everything, just couldn't cope with it. So that forced me to be busy. You know, and then as time's gone by, there's an argument to think, well, is it good that you haven't processed it, really? Because I think it's in there. You know, it's definitely in there, because the bottom line is I miss him so much. But
every time you get too much time on your hands, you can't help but think about it.
You know, because it's like he should be here, and it's not a kind of death that your brain naturally can process. It's not a natural
But
process.
that's why I even said with your thing, not like that, but it helps me, because it's like I just know my mum she'd never had to go through that. She'll never have to go through that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I wouldn't even want to have my mum even going through that. How much it would hurt my mum if I would have dead in them streets there when I was doing all of my... Because I used to see the pain on my mum's face when she'd come and visit me in jail. But I didn't get it until I've got a youth now. Do you know how hurt I'd be to go and visit my youth and know that when I leave here, you're going to get banged up into a cell for 23 hours a day. That's what I put my mum through. But you don't pre that. You're just getting on with it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's like, that is unnatural. What's reached you is unnatural. To me, it's natural for your parents to die first because they're older than you. So how I look at it is like, okay, I've gone through that, but guess what though? I've gone through it, I'm still here now. Not like that, but a lot of people still got to go through it.
And when it's murder, that puts such a different element on it, because if it's a natural death, it's just tragic. If it's age, it's tragic because it's a loss. But when you then have the element of another individual has chosen to take your little boy's life, that opens up a whole other element. Then you have all the friends element, then the music industry element, then the police element, then the courts element. And every day when I think, right, I'm going to stand up, and it's like my happiness is out of my hands. So I could get up today and have a good day, tomorrow have a good day, and then tomorrow there'd be an article about Josh thrown up there, or there could be an article to do with the boy that killed him, or could do an article to do with Josh's dad, or it could be to do with the police, or it could do with the courts. And then I'm just, everything I've tried so hard to achieve, it just bang. And it's like being hit down. And I'm not bad and I'm not tough. I'm his mum, you know. And that's the thing with murder, it takes it to a whole nother level that is forever difficult. It doesn't heal, it doesn't process, and then in X amount of years, in X amount of years, it will then be parole, release, and all that, what that will bring. You know, so there's all these different elements. When it's murder, it takes it to a very unnatural kind of grieving process, because you don't really get the opportunity to grieve to the point where it's released a bit. It's really hard to explain, but it's really difficult. You know, really difficult. You know, you don't, when you've got a child, you don't ever want that child to be hurt in any way. No, you know, definitely. Emotionally, and certainly not physically. You know.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even want to think about it, because, do you know what I mean? I thought losing my mum would send me mad, but it didn't send me mad because I was just prepared for it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I can see that side of things sending me crazy.
It's different levels of there's so many different levels, you know, like grief isn't just one level.
Yeah,
when you lose
a
parent, that's a different level of trauma.
Do you
like,
get what I'm saying?
My mum died of cancer.
And mine.
And so, you know, I have the comparison of an instant murder death, a prolonged cancer death, and there's no one that's better than the other. I'll tell you that now, because to have a parent die of cancer and to see that mental torture that you have to face at each moment of how long have they got? Are they going to die soon? Are they going to be in pain? Is it this week? Is it next week? And then when it does come, and so that is a different level of trauma. And when someone's murdered, the trauma is just an instant smack you in the face trauma.
But with your mum though, at least you knew she had a decent innings.
Yeah.
With Josh, he haven't even got halfway through his innings.
No, Josh,
you know what I mean?
You know, and Josh wasn't. you know, people have their opinions. As soon as there's a YouTube video up, you'll see the comments and they're always the same. Alison's been to my school, and then it's like,
What did you say?
Alison's been to my school. You'll get that. You'll get that. Then you'll get, well, he deserved to die. Then you'll get, oh, that's always there. He deserved to die. Then you'll get, well, it's karma. Look what his dad did. Then you'll get,
oh shit.
Oh yeah,
Didn't think of that.
You'll get all of it. You'll get all of those comments. But the thing that kind of doesn't affect me by those comments is, Josh was
that is mad though. I didn't think of that, but imagine what his dad must be thinking.
Of course.
Like, you know what I'm saying? As a man that's created a funeral on breakers now too.
You know, but I think people forget there's human beings behind these headlines. Some, you know, and people say things without realising, and it doesn't hurt me. And the only reason I can sit here and be like, right, it doesn't hurt me, because I knew Josh. You know, people that know you as you might not necessarily know the public perception of you, or
Leon.
And they're probably not the same person.
Similar-ish.
You know, they might have like bits that are linked, but you know, you can. And I'm not talking about you. People can do horrendous things, but they're still humane enough to have a heart that they know that isn't particularly a right thing to do, because if they put it in relation to their own family, that would never be okay, you know. And Josh wasn't out there hurting people. He wasn't out there with weapons. He wasn't selling drugs. He wasn't a gang affiliated. And so I can sit and think, well, you know, no one has the right to criticise anything about Josh because you didn't know him. If you knew him and stood by his side and knew Josh and everything he went through and his pain, you have a right to comment. But not many people do, you know. And if you're in the public eye, people feel that they know you and will take certain elements of what they know and create, well, I know this person.
How did it affect his siblings?
So Josh has got one sister, which is my daughter. And it's, again, different layers. She's lost her little brother, and people forget. We always talk about the mums, don't we? The grieving mum. We forget the grieving dad, the aunties, the grandparents, the siblings. And she lost her little brother. That's all he ever was to her. Then she's lost me in a lot of ways, because I'm not who I was. I'm not the person I was. That died with Josh. And what's left, again, is trying my best and
like a shell.
Just trying to be her mum still, and that's hard because you know the light of my life, Josh, kind of like that light went out, and it's hard, you know. So I try really hard to be like, I'm a strong person and I'm your mum and I'm here for you and I love you, and yet I'm overwhelmed with the kind of grief and consumed by that, really. But she does her best, you know. She does her best. Gets up every day and moves forward to the best of her ability. And again, with her, she'll be out thinking, I'm having a good day, and then someone will go, oh, you're Depsy's sister, he got stabbed up in it, and then she'll just fall back down again. You know, and that's what we have a lot.
You still in Brum?
Yeah, same place he grew up, got his bedroom. Really? His little bedroom, we've everything there.
So sad, man.
His Gucci's, all his clothes. The only thing that was cremated with him was his Gucci pouch, because he'd have worn that.
You would have just wore it everywhere.
He wore it everywhere.
That was on every video.
Walking into the sea and everyone's like, well, he's got his Gucci pouch on. You know, everywhere. And one of his friends who passed away as well.
Did you buy it?
Yes. My son rinsed every penny from me. Joshua never had, you know, and I mean, there's no like, the struggle was real, and there wasn't a struggle, you know. Studio was paid for, doing the album was paid for, his clothes were paid for, every bit of...
You loved him proper, didn't you?
I loved him. I just wanted him, you know, he was spoiled. There was a lot of material objects, but he had love, so that as long as love's there, the rest is a bonus, but the love is, you have to give that child that love and then spoil them. So he had both. But, you know, his friend had a Rolex watch, and Josh was always like, that's dead. You know, I'm gonna have a better one than you when I'm proper rich. And when Josh passed, his friend actually gave him that watch, gave it to me to have it cremated with him.
Oh my gosh!
He was the Rolex, the Gucci pouch were cremated.
I rate that friend, big you up though.
No, and he's passed from a heart condition. Durrell, so R.I.P. Durrell.
R.I.P. Durrell, man.
R.I.P. Durrell. Yeah.
R.I.P.
He passed not long after Josh from a heart condition, but pure beautiful thing that he did. He came to me privately and just said, he always told me this was a dead watch, but it'd get better, but I wanted to have it.
Did you reach out to his family?
Tudor Owls.
Yeah. Oh.
I went to see him in hospital when he was unconscious, and you know, spoke to his mum.
That's a mad thing to grieve. I lost a friend to a heart attack as well. It's like a murder. I swear down.
It's again such a
confusion
because
it's a mad feeling because it's like, bro, like, because even when I got the call, and then I remember, and you always remember where you was when you got that call as well.
Yeah.
I was getting my trim, MPK, and his brother phoned me. He's like, yeah, Wayne's dead, and like my heart. See my heart. Like that's the first thing he said to me. He's such a madman. He just said, "Swear, like Wayne's dead," and I was like, my heart. I swear, just sunk. But I was just thinking, I'm going to go to prison, because you don't expect to hear a heart attack. I'm thinking, who the fuck done that? And it's not even, and I know my man's so solid. I'm not even, he's a man, you get what I'm saying? Everything's local, always. So I'm thinking, who got him? He don't slip. My bridge don't slip. So it's like, when you find out what it is, it's like, that's a different thing to grieve as well. That's a hard.
It's confusing.
It's a hard loss.
I still am very confused.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to process if you go, right, this is Josh, and Josh is so photographed, but if you actually show me a photograph of Josh and I look at it and I'm like, how is Josh dead? And how is Josh not here? I am here. He was murdered, and and your brain gets confused, so it's like you don't even try and process it. It's such a confusing thing. So when you do lose someone, it's kind of like you don't forget them, but you go into your own life, and then it just comes at you, go boom, and you think, God. Because
every year for his birthday we'll go and have a meal.
Yeah.
Even I went and had a meal the other day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like every time, or say the the day that he died, we'll go and have. You know what I mean? We always remember him. But it is weird. But in a way, they do remain immortal, because they don't never grow.
No, and I think if my advice to anyone that's lost and grieved, and with the work I do, I get a lot of people saying they've lost people. How do they grieve? And grief is a very individual journey. And I think what gives me a lot of strength is to know that Joshua stays alive. We're all going to die. How many of us leave something behind that continues after we go? So I think my purpose is very much to instill his life story,
keep his legacy alive
in people, so that when I am dead and I am unable to be his voice, the voice carries on. I know one day that will stop because no one else will be able to do it, but I think if whoever you are, whatever situation you're in, if once a year it's just you on your own remembering that person, they live on.
He's a lucky boy to have a mum like you, Alison, man. Lucky boy, you get what I'm saying? Because
thank you.
Come on, man. Ratings, you get what I'm saying? Cause you're up and down for him. You get me? I'm sure he's up there.
No,
I'm sure he's up there smiling. You get what I'm saying? I'm sure he's up there smiling.
Shadow when he was in police stations, courtrooms, covered in blood.
Because this is 9 years ago and you're still here sitting next to me.
Teeth knocked out, and I'll be there in, we were talking about, so funny, not funny. 15 years of age, he'd been punched in the mouth, 2 teeth were gone, cut all the way down, but he was 15, he was drunk, high as a kite.
I got my jaw broken at 15, don't worry, wired up, had to go to school and all that.
A&E, we had to go to the children's hospital because he was a child, so I'm there with a high as a kite drunk child in a A&E in a children's hospital. There's toddlers running around, and the shame, I was covered in blood, he was covered in blood. He knew, and there's a tweet, and he wrote in it, that woman will get to me no matter what, 24/7, love till the end. And that's what he put about me. And people don't necessarily, and that's because no matter where he was, I would get to hit by his side within the quickest amount of time. If he was arrested, I was by his side. That was my job. If he was in a courtroom, covered in blood, whatever it was my job to be by his side, because I needed to comfort him, to make sure that he never made it worse, because emotion can make things worse, can't it? So if he was scared or angry, the last thing I wanted was him to go out and hurt someone, and then there'd be a real sentence we were looking at. So my job was always to try and pull him back, so I was lucky to have him. He made me who I was. He still makes me who I am, and I'm very lucky that I had him. Very lucky.
Can I have some Mountain Dew?
Yeah. And music was his therapy. Music
Depz, you're making me have a few more outbursts as well today.
You know, he was able to express his pain through his lyrics, you know, and that was his blessing. Not everyone is able to get it out of them, but he managed to do that. So when you actually hear his music and you know more of his story, you think, oh my God, that's not just, you know, a load of made up stuff, that's actually real.
Yeah, no.
You know.
He's very good lyricist as well. That's why it's amazing to hear that he dropped out of school, because you'd think he got an A-star in English language or something.
No, he never got any, nothing. But not everyone can get A's or do maths or do English. And I think, again, we need to make sure that there's an education system in place that educates young people based on what they're good at. If you spend 5 years trying to educate a young person on a language they'll never ever use, whereas you could be educating them on life and emotional stability and happiness, then that's probably a far better way to invest in an education. But we just have, this is education.
Yeah, or even teaching a skill.
Yeah, you know, most important skill is first and foremost try and be as happy as you can, and address the issues that have been thrown at you as a child that have been no fault of your own. Then we can try and help people be the best of their ability, and not everyone's going to be a Premiership footballer, you know, famous all over YouTube, or, you know, multi-millionaire, but they certainly have a skill.
They need to address the mental health from early as well, because like how I am, I ain't going to talk to no one, innit? That's just how I am. I don't forget all that counselling shit, yeah? I'd rather talk to people that I know. I don't want to talk to a stranger about my shit. But I'm saying, if from school, they had, like, say, a counsellor for every year, then you had to go and see that counsellor. You know, you'd be used to seeing someone and talking about shit. You know what I'm saying, innit? But they don't even think of stuff like that. You've got teachers, but what about your counsellor? They should have that's a new one. Yeah, you should have counsellors for every year.
They should.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a counsellor, innit? Like, that's who you got to talk to. Like, look, I'm getting beats at home. Or I'm getting, do you get what I'm saying? You don't know what these youths are going through.
Exactly.
And
you get what I'm saying?
You know, the fact they're children, we treat young people like they should know better, or they should be in charge of their own emotion. They should be in charge, like you said earlier, you know, a child's, it's not their choice where they live, or their choice where they go to school, or their choice how much money comes into the household. And sometimes that child can have such a hard time. Mental health kicks in when they're 6, when they're 7, when they're
do you understand?
And that, where's that mental health going? It's going to make them withdrawn, or the opposite, erupt.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Or harm themselves, or harm others. It's
hurt people.
Yeah, and they do. You know, you go into prisons, and, you know, if you were to go around the whole room, tell me about your life, very few of them are going to say, oh, well, I was born in Oxford, and I went to a private school, and this and this, and I've got a mum and I've got a dad, and I did football, hockey, we ate well, we went on holiday 3 times a year. The majority will say, I know, life was hard. You know,
no dad.
My mum found it difficult. This. You know, and yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, man. But every episode we have a different dilemma where we have to help someone that writes in grief, and just have you got any last words on grieving? How you can
just do your best. Take each moment as it comes and try, because that's all we can do, is see that you'll get past this moment and be more prepared for the next. And whatever you're doing to cope, whether that be sitting on the sofa and crying or going out and doing positive things, it's the right way for you, and just be proud of being here.
What was the biggest thing for you, though, that helped you with your healing? What was it? You know, sometimes some people, it's spirituality, it could be praying, it could be somebody comfort with somebody helped, like, looking through pictures, like, what was it? What do you think gave you the most comfort?
I think the biggest thing is just knowing that when he passed, that period before that, he'd achieved the only thing I wanted for him, which was for him to be happy. And that is something that I can hang on to, and something that I can think, you know what, all the pain, all the difficulties he faced, he knew what real happiness was, to love, to be loved, and to be focused. And I'm proud of that, and that gives me the strength to look back and think I don't regret any of it, because he got where he needed to be, and together we achieved that. And you know, that gives me the comfort to know that he felt that emotion before he went.
I didn't even ask you, Cream. Have you had any thing to grieve? Like, have you dealt with your grievance? If you've had any grievance?
Yeah, I have, but I feel like I think time is a big healer. It's like you don't forget,
don't heal, does it, Alison?
I said.
I know what you mean, though.
When I say that, I just mean like with time, it's easier for you to deal with. You're not forgetting anything, you know.
No, I know what you mean.
But to me, time is a healer because with time you get
life goes on.
Right. Not just life going on, but you can kind of know how to. You can get to know how to deal with certain things. You know what comforts you. You know what I'm saying. You talk about things and certain things like that. Do you know what I mean? And I think with mourning things, time is a healer for me. Do you know what I mean? Praying.
But life does go on as well.
Yeah, life does.
Because unfortunately,
and
don't matter who dies today, you still got to wake up and do certain things. You're still going to have to cook for your
as a woman, when you got other things going on as well, and you know that you have to keep going. Like you said, you've got a daughter. You know, you have to keep.
Yeah.
And you literally you don't exude somebody that gives up. You carry yourself very well. You know what I mean? You're still keeping your son's legacy alive and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and his legacy isn't, he wanted to be a solicitor and he was a lovely little boy and so sweet, and this is so tragic. This is a little boy that struggled, suffered, made mistakes, and I think if we can inspire those young people in the world that have gone in prison, come out of prison, been arrested, done things they shouldn't, I think that's a very important group of people that we should be trying to inspire, you know. And I think that's, Joshua showed me that, you know, it's possible to live in pain and come out the other end and not hurt people eventually, and not vent and you know, end up hurting yourself and the people that you love. And he taught me a big lesson in that, and to show me that you just need to carry on. You don't give up, you keep going, because you don't know when the clouds will clear and the sun will come shining through. And I think he showed me that, so it's not fair for me to give up when he doesn't have a life and an option to keep trying, you know. And I think I just want more people to see that life is hard and we've suffered, but there is, you know, the sunshine to fight for.
And on the other hand as well, I do want to put this out there as well, because obviously, like I said earlier on, it's like I just feel like it's a passionate crime and all that. And like, this guy done this because of his baby mother and all that. But you need to think as well, because even me thinking how much of a madman I am or whatever, that my baby mother will make me go mad if I was to see her walk past with her youth trying to starve me or whatever. But when it's all said and done and you're sitting down in your jail, in prison, that same baby mother's just with someone else now, getting dug out by someone else. So it's like, no matter what, he might have done that, but that one moment of madness, now you're in jail, you've
but look who he's hurt. If you
get what I'm trying to say, you've taken someone's son, and now your baby mother's still getting dug out.
But not even if you remove her from the equation, you know, he hasn't just hurt Josh, which hasn't just hurt me, which hasn't just hurt. He's hurt himself so badly.
And he's got the girl as well, because his son
he's hurt his mum, his dad, his entire family, and everyone that loves him and needed him home.
Do you understand?
And I think if we can just try and show, if that moment of madness is worth it, we can't say anything and do anything. But if you're in that cell and you're sitting there thinking, this isn't a problem.
It's a different thing. See if I see someone, astaghfirullah, but if someone like raped my sister or it's the different kind of thing. I'll gladly go to prison and sit down for the 30 and say, you know, I saw a dude, a queff dude, and I'm sitting down and I'm doing this birth for that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's a different, but when you weigh up that's my whole thing, is when you weigh it up, like, all right, cool, because me, I'm a passionate guy in it, so I can see myself committing some passionate crimes, but you need to have a thought process. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's why you need to know yourself as well. That's why, see, me, I'd rather just not engage. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because, trust me, especially just don't engage.
Yeah, I think the thought process, it comes with maturity, comes with guidance, comes with life experience. And if you're able to give that thought process to the younger generation, you know, that's a quality that can be passed on.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, there's nothing can justify, you know, that what happened, that level of emotion is the amount of pain that's been caused because the girl pissed him off.
But imagine the level of emotion now, Alison, as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not worth it. Who are the winners?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Who won? Nobody.
You're sitting there, you've got to line up for dinner, you're just seeing bare ball bags. Every time you go and shower, you're seeing bare ball. You say, eat that thing. But your baby mother's still getting dug out, walking around with someone else, getting dug out by someone.
It wasn't what happened. There's not a justified reason ever. You know, in my opinion, to take someone's life, and I know emotion makes it hard sometimes.
But see me, like I said, if someone raped my people, then or something, you're justifiably getting murked. You get what I'm saying?
That's just different people's opinions. That's how you would deal with it.
No, but I just think
for me,
they'll be justified to get killed.
When Joshua got killed, there was a lot of plans for retaliation in all kinds of ways.
I can imagine.
But for me, it would always come back to representing Josh, and I think as his mum, the last thing I wanted was there to be a death associated with his name, not what happened. And so I was so passionate about making sure, to the best of my ability, that everybody just stayed calm. Because if you're going to kill anybody in relation to this, let's just break that down for a second. Let's go through the thought process.
My mum would have said, get them.
Whereas
I said, get them today, go for them. I'm going mad, I'm going.
You know, but the thing is, it's like, Josh wouldn't have come back, first and foremost. You would have done what this young man has done to Josh. Your mum has to say goodbye to you. Is your emotion more important than your mum's emotion? Oh, wow. And I'm like, it isn't, and I get what you're saying, but I don't think that's the right course of action. And it, you know, people chose to listen to that, but they could have easily not.
Yeah, come on.
But all I can do in my heart and soul, and my karma, and my, you know, what I believe in. You made it easier
for them to take that route.
For me, it was like, I'm not okay with that happening. It will never come from me. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not some, you know, head of this and person of this and commands this. I'm that's not me at all whatsoever. I'm like, no, don't fight. You know, that's not me as a person. And I tried for 18 years for Joshua, do not be that person. Because if you hurt someone, let's look at who you're hurting. Yourself and me, and I love you and you love me, so do you really want to hurt me like that? And he'd be like, no. I know. So let's just try and put the thought process in place. So
if you want to ride, you ride, and that's whatever the mum says, you're riding.
And it's not you know, and it's naive, and it's not as simple as that. In lots of cases, I just know with Josh, that was our journey. But with other people, it's different journeys. I can, again, only talk about what we were like together, you know. And Josh didn't have to ride out. He didn't have to do that life because he was fortunate. Some people aren't fortunate, and I'm not saying it's okay, because I don't think it is. But where is the support to make there a better option for those young people, or another option at all, you know? And I think we've got people are scooped up in situations and they don't know or see or feel any different. So it's not a danger to be going around the streets doing certain things, because that's what they're living and that's their life, you know. And that's why I can't talk about those things, because Joshua didn't have that life, you know. He had his money, he had his designer clothes, he had his holidays, he had everything, you know. There was never a struggle for him. So it's a different kind of environment that Joshua grew up in.
No, you're styling Josh, man. Yeah, don't overstyle him. You get me? Like, yeah, he had it fully easy. You get me? He had his own trauma in his head.
Easy, emotionally, he had it incredibly difficult.
Don't style him. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because all that's great and all that, the money and all that. Yeah. But your dad's doing a bid. He's got other stuff on his brain, innit? That's sending him crazy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Don't overstyle him.
What I mean by that is that he didn't have to. When I'm saying he didn't feel trapped in a corner where he had to rob someone. To remove the emotional side for a second, I mean the pressure that young people are under.
You saved him from having to go to the bin for
the clothes, the trainers, the perception, the Instagram life. You know, that was supported enough. What we were struggling with support and what we had to fight for was the emotional kind of, you know, element of him was the fight. I'm just saying the financially wasn't the fight. The fight was his trauma, and the fight was who he was.
And it's a whole different world now as well with
and
this
that was the hard
Instagram
fight.
thing.
That was the emotional thing. That was the fight. The going to work and him spending all my money, that wasn't a fight. But his mentality was a fight.
It must be so much harder now as well when I think about it. Now with all the Instagram shit, because like obviously man had garms and all that. Man was just going teeth garms and that. But I'm saying like, see like back in the day, like you had some people, they just didn't have no garms from and all that. But now it's mad, like, cause their Instagram must be looking crazy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like there must be people actually going out there, literally living for Instagram. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going
But
out
you
there
also have kids. You go into schools, and I'm shocked the level of poverty that some of our children live in this country, and you have sections in schools that have the school shoes because they can't afford to buy school shoes, so they give, if they're a size 5 and they've only got a size 7 left, that poor child is walking around school all day with shoes that are way too big for them, which
mad.
And then they got to see everyone
crazy,
humiliated,
humiliated.
Like that's
mad Bigfoot.
And
I hate to hear things like
mad
that.
Bigfoot. In my school, we would have cracked joke at him.
And then what happens to that young man then?
We shouldn't, cause what kids will be kids.
But then with him, the pressure. I need some school shoes. I need trainers. So how am I going to get them? My mum, my dad, my environment. I can't do that.
Go lick it. Yeah,
and then,
lick it.
And then what will happen is that young person will find themselves in a situation. If it goes wrong, they become a headline. They go to prison. Now, why didn't we help them buy their school shoes? Why did we not invest to make sure everyone is equal? You know, we should all be equal to some level. Not equal driving, Mercedes or having, private yachts, etc. We should all be at basic human level, and we're not. And I think that's just wrong. It's wrong.
Do you think like schools should like go back to like not making them be allowed to like flaunt their money as much? Like if school like everybody had the same shoes. Like
that's why they got a school uniform, innit?
Like, but like if it doesn't matter how much you can afford, everybody wears this.
But that's why it was school uniform.
And everybody wears. Do you know what I mean?
That's why it was like school uniform. Yeah. Like everyone wears school uniform.
Yeah, they have school uniform, but then it's like
it's the access. I know
everything
what,
should be the
same. I know what it is. Every term, new train. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she want.
The code.
Bougie up herself.
School coat, school code is December.
So everything is Benja, whatever, everything. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the night, the.
I think that would remove a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
Because you've got non-uniform day, and there's kids that will go in their school uniform because they don't have clothes.
Because they can't go to work, they can't provide. That's
non-uniform day. If you go non-uniform day in your uniform, you're mental. Straight away, there's jokes on you.
Yeah, and
there's
a
million jokes on you. There's a million jokes. You remember them youths that used to come to school in their uniform on non-uniform day? You're mental. You're definitely eating food on your own. Cake and custard on your own. I know, but that's just how it was. Kids,
but that's bad though, isn't it?
Yeah, but we would think about it though. That was mad for us. Like,
those are the ones that grow up and shoot up the schools.
They're the ones that grow up as dickheads.
You know what I mean?
The anger builds up, and the anger comes out,
and then that comes out, and they release.
They don't shoot no one. They grow up and be police, but you're gone mad. They're the ones that grow up and be police. They would just want to arrest people.
Everyone. Yeah, that's
anger.
Cause you know what I'm saying? They just want to arrest everyone. We know who you was in school. You get me? Wearing uniform. You get me? Dickhead feds. Every episode we have a dilemma. I know. Feds are your bridging, but they're not my bridging. Yeah, they're not my bridging, Alison. They just, you get me? They just like arresting people.
I will work, speak, and associate with anybody that is genuine. And doing the right thing, regardless of who they are, what their job is. If they're not, it doesn't matter who they are, I won't. So
police, man, they just bully victims from school. You get me?
Okay.
Them and the screws, that's who they are. They're the ones that was wearing uniform and on uniform day. Boom, every episode we got a dilemma. We got to help them. This one's their RTM podcast show. My dad sadly passed away 6 months ago, and unfortunately he didn't leave a will. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters by him, and 1 brother and 1 sister wants to sell his house back home in Jamaica. The rest of us don't want to sell it, and because of this, we've stopped talking with our siblings. We've agreed to sell his house in the UK, as we all have our own houses over here already, but we want to keep the house in Jamaica in the family. We've already split the money he had left in his bank account, and I'm now starting to think, is it worth losing my relationship with my brother and sister over it? And if I should just agree to sell the house back home to keep the peace? What's your advice, please? Got any advice on that?
Really difficult.
Difficult.
Really, first and foremost, very difficult. If their family member had any, when they're alive, stated they wanted that house left, you have to push for what that person wanted. But if there isn't any of that, no will at all, and no conversations around that property, it might come to the point where you just have to look at what's more important, the fight or the relationship with the siblings. Very, very difficult. I've experienced a very teeny similar thing, like when
It's mad, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Everyone,
people pass away.
Yeah, it gets all techie.
You
does. Start seeing the real. You start seeing what people are really like and what they're really about. The same thing happened with me, and do you know what I mean? Like, you start seeing, ooh, hold on, you're a bit money hungry. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you want this and you want that, and because I've stopped talking to some of my siblings since my mum died because of certain things, so I get it. Yeah. As well. And
it's emotional, you're suffering the loss and having to be practical at the same time. Again, it's difficult because I know that my sensible side would try and process it, talk about it, come to the best solution you can, and my emotional side would be well, don't speak to them then if they're being disrespectful.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's a difficult one.
Like, you get me? Family is not just about blood, you get me? It's about loyalty, like we said last time. So it's like, obviously, try and keep the peace, whatever, but if they're not talking to you because you don't want to sell your dad's house, then fuck them, respectfully. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Not like that, but
has he got the power of
attorney?
Yeah, is he the one in charge of what's happening?
It sounds like a girl still, but
she just wants to keep it and the others want to sell it.
But like what she said, she's got 2 brothers and 2 sisters, right? So if one brother and one sister wants to sell it, that means that there's 3 of them. So
that means the majority of them want to sell.
To keep it. No, the majority wants to keep it.
What I mean, wants to keep.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So that's obviously why it's still there. But it's probably going to end up they'll ask to get bought out. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh well, if you lot are keeping it, you got to buy us out, type of thing. That's how I can. Yeah, that's another way to kind of settle it.
Yeah,
that's another way to settle it.
Technical when these things come up.
You value the house, and then after you get the house valued, you split it into 5, and then obviously you have to buy them out, innit? And that might be able to keep the peace.
Another thing as well is sometimes I think it's so disrespectful how people run for people's assets when they pass.
Yeah.
Some people they don't even go and check you at the house. But when you're dead, you want half of the yard. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think having a will is so important.
And that's why you need to know what it is, because sometimes you need to know, those people didn't even do anything with you, and then now they're just arguing about sharing up your bits. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard.
Like, crab up. I remember, like, even with my mum, like, with less than a month, I had people
everyone's
watching
there wanting their bits,
looking, not everyone still, but you get what I'm saying? Certain people. And I'm thinking, like, we ain't even mourn this woman yet. Like, I don't even want to talk about that yet. You know, like, when you're even getting a phone call, I'm thinking, are you being nuts? Don't ask me all of that right now. I don't even care about all of that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I'm a man, my mum knows me as well, sample you. I always think I'll make my own way. I don't need your money. Or do you get what I'm trying to say? Your yard or none of that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I'll be with them like, keep the yard in the family, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? Somewhere that your grandkids can always go to if they go back to yard or what. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And you better mind anyway. You might not even be able to sell that yard. Because by the time you go over yard, your relatives over there all living in there and all that. They'll all gunshot you if you try. It's nuts still when you go back home still. But what's your advice, Cream? And Alison, you lot? Give some advice on that.
The majority want to keep it in the family. Right now, they're going to have to go with the majority.
But it sounds like she wants to chat to her siblings, though.
What is their reasons for selling it? Why does she need the money? It depends. Was she in the house before? You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to have a conversation.
It probably just want money.
Do you know what I mean? It depends. And it depends on, like we said, there's no will, so we just don't know what the people then want. But if the majority of everyone wants it to keep in the family, I'd keep it in the family for now.
Yeah.
And just don't chat to them or try and build a relationship or what?
I think you can try.
You can try. You can always try.
Yeah, and then if it doesn't work out, you've done your best. And if you have to pull away from people.
But at the same time, if everyone's struggling and that money will be would help the family if they separated it and everybody got a portion, then they should do that too. Do you get what I mean?
Because they might not even go back.
Yeah, exactly. What's the point in them just having it up there? If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd have to weigh up the pros and cons of it all.
Yeah, because the ones that probably want to sell it probably don't even go to Jamaica.
Do you get what I mean? So they must be thinking it's just sitting it and they're sitting there and it could really benefit us as a family.
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to.
Do you get what? Yeah. So that's why I feel like they need to.
But then it's just not yours though. You didn't pay for it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like you didn't pay for it. Why do you now want Dad's money? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
was you checking for him when he was alive and all them things? Do you know what I mean? And it like.
Even if they was, it's like loud of money's things now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because that's part of a legacy as well. Once that's gone, what's there now? Do you get what I'm saying? At least you got something. That's granddad's house.
I know. Yeah,
that's it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You've already sold the house in the UK, so you lot's got money off the house in the UK. You want more money now?
Yeah.
Suck your mother.
Because I know people that are arguing similar. Similar little situation, they're arguing over a yard and the woman hasn't even gone yet.
See?
And my thing is this, everybody's arguing over somewhere where they don't even go there. Do you understand? So that's theirs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
you think
crazy.
you get is a bonus. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. I chose that dilemma obviously because of the subject today. You get me? It's touchy, but just basically tell them to go fuck themselves. Yeah? You get me? You don't need family like that. You get me? But yeah, every episode as well, we give them a book to go and read because we try and do a little different thing. You get me? We try and you get me? Like obviously, at some point we're gonna get copied. People copy us. We put out little flashbacks, shorts and all that. The other podcast, they copy us, they put out shorts, they do madness, but yeah. They tried at first, remember Zizi was doing her madness. She tried to put out books, but she lied it. You get me? But yeah, this episode, we've got another outburst, sorry you lot. This episode, we've got how to get what you want and want what you have. Fuck it all. How to get what you want, you know? Boom. This is by John Gray. Have you heard of him?
Nope.
I've heard of him still. Written a few good books. He's the best-selling author of Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. So you can check out them books as well. A practical guide to personal success, this is. So millions of readers have experienced John Gray's healing advice through his Mars and Venus series. Now this master therapist takes therapy to the next level with a brilliant new personal success program. Combining Western healing techniques with Eastern meditation, he presents an innovative and proven 5-step method to make you happy, confident, and at peace. This inspirational book shows you how to identify and take responsibility for the blocks to your personal success, understand your soul's desire, release negative emotions. I need to learn how to do that. Identify needs and take action. Decide what you want each day and put your life together in order to achieve it. How to get what you want and want what you have will allow you to acknowledge, forgive, and transcend the pain of the past in order to recognize and achieve your soul's desire and live a rich and fulfilling life. You get what I mean? John Gray is a best-selling author and psychologist. He is the best-selling author of the Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus series and features regularly as part of Oprah's Change Your Life TV team.
Okay.
So yeah, big up John Gray. Check that book out though, it sounds interesting. My brethren give me that, big up Jatty. Jatty give me that to give to you lot today. But yeah man, Alison, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Appreciate you.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
Yes,
and I appreciate my presence from Josh. Rest in peace, soldier. Rest in power, furthermore.
Yes.
Thank you. No, thank you both.
You will never be forgotten because your friends will make your legacy live on, and your mum definitely will make your legacy live on.
Always.
You know what I'm saying, Carl? But nah, man, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
No, thank you, and I wish you all the best.
No, I wish
both
you all the
of
best. You know what I'm saying? Thanks.
Everything you do in your life isn't just for you.
We're trying, do you get what I'm saying? Really the most, and I didn't know how it was going to go today, Alison, do you get what I'm saying? But I think you're so down to earth, and you don't seem judgmental at all, do you get what I'm saying? So I was even able to be myself a bit. I thought maybe I'm going to have to try and be some different spray today, which I was a bit different, not different though, but I had a few outbursts, which is what I do.
But you know, just everything you do, you think you've got a little person that needs you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But
And that's the bottom line of it, and other people's emotion and other people's issues, he needs you.
nah, man, thank you, man. I really appreciate
So no
it.
matter how mad you get and how people you want to take out, how will he feel?
I really appreciate it, man. And do you know what? How can any? I just like what you're doing now. What are you doing now? Let
What
them
am I
know.
doing? So
Let them know before we
So
go.
this
You get what I'm saying?
week I'm in Hertfordshire in schools, secondary schools, just sharing Josh's story and trying to open up the mind just for them to think, what would I actually lose if I choose this way of life, or if I get involved in this, or if I hurt someone. And then if they're ready for the moment they leave their mum behind, or their children, or the people they love, then at least they know what they're getting into. It's just to share Josh's story in the hope that it inspires people just to fight for those that wouldn't be okay without them.
Nah, you're
And then-
an angel. You're an angel. You're diamond. Do you know what I mean? You're a bloody diamond.
And then I'll just keep doing that, and then more people know about Josh, more people will think about their own lives, and it goes to show that, you know, look at all the trauma, you can still rise and try, and then one day you'll be here and you'll be good, hopefully, with the right help and support. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm working this week, Hertfordshire, Watford, and then continue.
Inshallah, God willing, someone takes some good points out of today's conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, and just learn. Maybe use your think first, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I've had to do a few think first programs. Still ain't the greatest at thinking first, but I understand the need for it. Do you know what I mean? And you know, like we said with the Real and the Most podcast, we're gonna keep doing our thing different from the rest. We have whatever guests I want on here. You get what I'm saying? As you can see, I can have a grown conversation. You get what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. Well, I tried, didn't it? I tried.
No,
you get what I'm saying?
You've been great.
I've done all right, innit? I've done all right. You get what I'm saying? I tried. You get what I'm saying? I had a few childish moments. Do you know what I mean? But I've done all right. You get what I'm saying? Follow the queen.
Ice Cream, the poster girl. Follow my business page, Poster Girl Lashes,
Look,
as
she
you
got
can
all
see.
But move your the thing, man. Yeah.
I got my lashes out today. I'm back in stock. I've got my new ones, eye candy, what I'm wearing today. So, you know, hit me up. You know the vibes. Come on. And don't stop what you're doing, because you never know who you're inspiring. You even inspire people that don't like you. So, yeah.
I like your crep still.
Do you like them?
I like your crep still. I just want to put that out there. No, I just want to put that out there. I like your crep still. You're always on your job though. The cream's always on. Oh, big up Reds as well. I see Reds.
That's always
I see Reds in Sidewinder.
That's it. Yeah,
I see Reds in Sidewinder. Yeah. What did you do this week? You don't try never have nothing to post. I need to post something to do with Sidewinder. I'm going mad. And I'm doing my show how I want to do my show. So what did you do this week before we go?
What did I do? Oh,
you get what I'm saying? I got videos from Sidewinder.
What have you? I've been on my grind.
But we got 360 security because they had the thing on lock. You get me?
You know the vibe.
They had the thing on lock. You get me? Yeah, man. They had the thing. Yeah.
Jimmy, big up
no one could cross it. You get me? No one could cross it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. No one could. I felt safe in there. You get what I'm saying? I felt safe in there. But nah, Sidewinder. That was a vibe still. Old tight Phantom and them boy there. You get me? My nigga them from Birmingham. Yeah, my Birmingham lot. We went out there. I was digging graves in there and them thing there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was
and he's
my mad
my
dancing.
fiance. Yeah, he does security. Yeah.
When you're getting married.
Yeah, I know soon, so yeah. But they got like a security company, but yeah, we got 360.
Yeah, no, I was surprised to see them clean in Manchester,
Oh,
but
man, yeah.
no, man. Oh, yeah, and D-Double as well. And Bushkin, I'm a guy, man.
Big up Bushkin. Big up Bushkin.
Lisa, Mafia, Romeo, and them.
Really?
Yeah, so sorry, you know they do their thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Good vibes, man.
Yeah.
Good vibes. You get me? No, man, just like my second home. But yeah, I had to get that in. What else did I do? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Went to a barbecue yesterday. You get what I'm saying? Now I have to. Now, true, I don't do nothing creepy. You know my thing. I'm like in DCAT. I'm still living that DCAT life, you know, like I don't do nothing. So when I do something, I need to put it out there on my podcast. You get me? Make them know. I'm outside sometimes, you get what I'm saying? And you know, if it's Manchester and that, you know you can get shot. I'm joking. More outbursts, but you can definitely get shot in Manchester. You get what I'm saying? Free GAV. You get what I'm saying? I'm not. You get what I'm saying? Free Gav times a million. You get what I'm saying? My Gwenger. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, boom. Gone mad again, follow the Queen.
Yeah, Ice Queen, the Poster Girl,
and
Instagram.
I was doing well, you know.
Poster Girl Lashes, my business page, Twitter, Queen Ice Cream, and Queen Ice Cream TV on YouTube.
Follow me at big_bad_spray on Instagram. I still ain't got control of that page, you get me? How about everyone write to Instagram and tell me?
And you don't need to follow me, just always remember Josh, and that's all I need to say.
Can I just finish, please? Yeah, you're going too mad, you know, Alison. Yeah, I've got other things I want them to follow, you know. Not just the Instagram, I've got other... Alison, I've got other things. Boom, follow me on Twitter at young_spray. Follow the page at RTM Podcast Show. Follow the clothing page at RTM Clothing Original. www.reallythemost.com. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Now what? Don't need to follow Alison.
I've said mine, but it's good.
No, but what's your Instagram though?
How do people like reach out?
Because I see your page. I'm gonna follow it, and I see that you've got a few followers. They're rating your thing, man.
Yeah,
build your thing, because from you build it, then more people can learn about Josh.
Yeah, AlisonCope.com is the website, and Josh is all over that. And then my Instagram is AliCope74. Very boring.
AliCope74.
Yeah, so
old foot. You get what I'm saying? 74. Old. I'm joking. Come on, that's not old. That's not old.
Exactly.
If that was old, that means I'm on my way. No, I'm joking. But no, thank you for coming, man.
No, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Stay blessed and beautiful. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'm sure that you know
today's
your message
episode
is going to touch people.
I like today's episode. It made me feel good, and it made me feel like a good guy. Everyone's thinking, shut up, man. RTM.